me, but they just don't know. People see me, but they just don't know. People see me, but they just don't know. Come on, baby, let the good times roll. Roll, roll, roll. Come on, baby, roll, roll. Come on, baby, let the good times roll.
Oh, I like to think that I was made invincible. Every day I fall. And there's times that I wish I could be invisible. See better days, I'm better on my own. So I keep going, I keep rolling. No, no, nothing, I ain't over till it's over. I keep going, I keep rolling. Oh, no, nothing, I ain't over till it's over. I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop till it's over. Can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop till it's over. Can't stop. I'm praying for better days. I know there'll be better days. I'm praying for better days. I know there'll be better days.
People see me, but they just don't know. People see me, but they just don't know. People see me, but they just don't know. Come on, baby, let the good times roll.
Oh, I like to think that everything is beautiful, but summer's always hanging over me. If I'd only find the start, I'd be unstoppable. I'm sitting at the lights when they're all green. I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop till it's over. Can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop till it's over. Can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop till it's over. Can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop, I can't stop till it's over.
시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까. 2018 자카르타 팔렘바 아시안게임 스타클래프트 2 종목으로 인사드리겠습니다. 오늘 대결에서는 조성주 선수가 금메달을 뗄 거라는 관심을 많이 받고 있거든요.
오늘 조성 선수의 금메달 가능성은 진짜 정말 너무 높지 않나라는 생각이 들어요.
아시안게임 8강 첫 번째 1세트 대결 시작됐습니다. 먼저 보이는 테란 파란색의 조성주 선수고요.
오늘 조성주의 플레이는 그냥 압도하겠다라는
네.
느낌인데요.
그렇죠.
프리스타일.
주도권을
누르겠다.
잡았고요. 예, 확장까지 가져가면서 견제도 하는데 자원도 더 많이 먹고 있고 병력도 더 많아요. 이렇게 견제 공격을 하게 되면 잃는 그 기회 비용이 있는데
네.
좀 조성주는 없어요.
그렇죠.
지지.
1세트 대결 조성주 선수가 깔끔하게 승리 따냈습니다. 조성주 선수와 스트라이커 선수의 경기 시작됐습니다.
트리플을 준비하고 있는 만큼 스트라이커 선수의 작전은 딱 하나예요. 내가 공격을 가면서 이기는 플레이는 어렵다고 판단했습니다. 이건 내가 무조건 수비만 해서 이길 수 있게.
사이클론 4기가 입구 쪽에서 좀 수비를 하고 있고
조성주 선수가
융합로?
융합로? 이거 지금 타이밍에 해방선을 위한 건물은 아니고
네.
전투 순양함이라고
전투 순양함.
쓰고 배틀 크루저라고 있는데
네.
그런 플레이는 사실 정말 그러니까 여러분들이 알기 쉽게 얘기를 하면 프로와 아마 대결에서도 저런 플레이를 많이 안 해요.
그렇죠.
근데 조성주가 지금 만약 저게 진짜 전투 순양함이라면 정말 배틀 크루저라면 조성주 선수 입장에서 1세트를 하면서 아 이건 내가 질 수가 없다.
그렇죠.
스타2가 얼마나 화려하고 얼마나 즐겁고 얼마나 재밌는 게임인지 보여주겠다는 욕심이 있어 보이죠. 이거 차원도약
스태시 기능 아니에요?
일찍 도망가야 되겠네요.
근데 이거 풀 자체가
이렇게
딱 저 차원도약을 썼을 때
이건 기능입니다.
이게 무적 판정을 받아요. 그래서 공격 자체를 안 받다 보니까 저 전투 순양함은 계속해서 공격적인 플레이를 할 수가 있는
네.
거죠.
너무 아프게 맞는데
이거는
전투
와 앞전멸
네.
앞전멸을
앞전멸
이건 대식이죠.
네.
저 스톡트에서 앞전멸 처음 봤어요.
와 앞전멸 저 배틀크루즈 앞전멸
이건 굳힐 수 있는 상황인 겁니다. 야마토 캐논 계속 써주면서 스트라이크의 병력은
네.
없어요.
와,
지지!
와 오늘 여러 가지를 보여주고 있는 조성주 선수입니다.
네.
파란색 테란 대한민국 국가대표 블루시프트 7시에 위치했습니다. 마루 조성주 선수고요.
뛰었을 때 딜로스가 있기 때문에
피해야 되죠. 넉백! 그나마 뒤로 넘어가서 살았어요.
그렇죠.
네.
근데 일단 사이클론 한기가 나와서 막기는 막을 텐데 앞마당이 지연된다라는 것 자체가 너무 아프고 그 후속타로 오는 벤시를 아직 모르죠.
수리하고 가는 게 좋지 않을까요? 수리하고.
오른쪽.
컨트롤이.
네, 들어가 싸우는데요.
이거 앞마당 사령부 좀 확장 타이밍 놓칠까봐 그런
이거,
건데.
또 잡혀요.
이거 잡혔어요.
아이고, 지지.
들어초반 압박으로 경기를 끝내버렸습니다. 준결승 진출.
자, 4강 경기 시작합니다. 마루 조성주 선수와 데미갓 선수의 첫 번째 세트입니다.
유령사가 나고 핵 쏠려고 하네요.
오. 자, 조성주가 세레모니를 준비합니까?
스타크래프트 2에서 핵은 실제 핵과 거의 비슷합니다.
네.
핵을 준비.
실제 경기에서는 잘 안 나옵니다.
네.
핵까지 준비를 하고 있는 조성주 선수예요.
그렇죠.
자, 준비합니다.
이거 본진 보면 입구가 열리는 거죠.
이러고 핵 다시 한번 생산하고 있어요.
네. 근데 방금은 공성 모드 그대로 한 상황에서 유령을 전차로 잡아도 됐었거든요.
네.
수력을 몇 방? 한 방.
떨어지고요.
입구 열고.
정우 근데
두 번째까지.
앞마당 건설 로봇은
잡혀요.
빼줘야겠죠. 앞마당
이거
건설 로봇은
잡혀요.
앞마당
자,
건설 로봇은 이 정도 맞았으면 뚫겠다라는 거죠.
그렇죠. 자, 공격의 신호탄으로 핵을 선택을 했습니다.
네, 이미 초반에 차이가 컸기 때문에 안 되죠.
지지. 조성주 선수가 압도적인 기량차를 보여주면서 핵까지 활용하면서 첫 번째 세트를 가져갑니다.
네.
나갔어요.
드디어
나갔어요.
네. 조성주의 시그니처죠.
빨리 끝내고 싶으면 나갈 것 같습니다.
어.
그래서 조성 선수가 오늘 이제 4강 경기는 좀 빠르게 끝내고 싶은 욕심이 있어 보이네요.
이제 핵도 보여줬겠다. 두
그렇죠.
번째 세트는 좀 빠르게 정리하고 싶다라는 의중인 것 같습니다.
테란 입장에서 전투 수행함과 핵미사일을 보여줬으면 평소에 보기 힘든 걸 다 보여주긴 했어요. 그 이외의 유닛들은 그냥 일반적인 플레이를 하더라도 충분히 우리가 볼 수 있거든요.
네.
이건 앞바닥을 취소하고 언덕 위에 벙커를 짓지만 조성주의 벙커도 지어지거든요.
네.
벙커 올라가고요.
자, 빌드부터가 막기 어려운 빌드인데
네.
컨트롤에서도 조성주 선수의 컨트롤이라면 막는 빌드도 열어버리겠다는 거거든요.
그렇죠. 우아하게 사신이 언덕 위로 날아올라서 저 상대하는 데미갓 선수의 건설부과 사신과 해병 모두를
그래도 사신 한 기를 어떻게든 끌어내면서 상대가 무서운 실 승리를 하기는 만들지 않았습니다.
그렇습니다. GSL에서도 그리고 한국에서도 가장 잘한다는 조성주의 컨트롤을 감상하시면 되겠습니다.
그렇죠.
지지. 조성주의 의도대로 끝났네요. 빨리 끝내버리겠다.
그렇죠. 뭐 격투기로 친다면 초살.
자, 이제 세 번째 세트 가보도록 하겠습니다.
지금 이 공격만큼은 데미가 선수 입장에선 무조건 성공시켜야 되는 거예요.
네.
야마토 캐논을 이제 밤까마귀에 쓰기 위함인데
그렇죠.
지금 샤키 선수의 컨트롤 진짜 좋았습니다.
옆으로 들어가서 전차에게 방해 매트리스 두 방 빵빵 걸면 들어갈 수 있어요.
네.
지금
자, 올라가는
쏘라!
선택합니다.
근데 일단 전투순양함도 3개까지 나오기 때문에
네.
아직까지는 방심할 수 없지만
문제는
이거는
데미
데미가 시도를 수 있는 상황은
그렇죠.
확실합니다.
여기서 이제 해병이 얼마나 남느냐인데요.
네.
바이킹을 너무 쉽게 내주는 건 너무 아쉬운데요.
그렇죠.
자, 전투수장 합류됩니다.
근데 결국에는 저 바이킹이라는 건 무조건 조합이 돼야 저 전투순양함을 끊을 수 있는 건
네.
해병도 따로 나오다 보니까 조성주가 막는 그림이 나오고
네.
건설로봇 16개 잡혔지만 결국 조성주가 자원장에서
야마토!
보여해요.
밀어냅니다, 조성주.
그리고 아직 차원도약은 쓰지도 않았습니다.
네.
사실 근데 실패하긴 했으나 아휴 너무
야마토 캐논.
야, 견제를 받기 너무 쉬운데요?
마무리.
이제 대선단이 준비됐습니다.
지금 이제 데미가 차키 선수가 계속해서 견제로 이득을 거둬주지만 건설 로봇 16개 잡아도 또 조성주가 많아요.
네. 한 기만 돌아와도 충분히 막을 수 있는 상황이고요. 이제는 본인의 중심부를 걱정해야 될 상황입니다.
이전에 한두 개 있었을 땐 좀 불안하긴 했으나 지금 저 정도의 수라면 무적하면 되죠.
자, 이렇게 해서 4강도 3대0으로 조성주가 승리를 가져갑니다.
그렇습니다. 경기 내용도 상당히 괜찮았어요.
드디어 조성주 선수의 결승 경기만 남겨두고 있습니다. 왼쪽 오른쪽 왼쪽 오른쪽 계속해서 흔들고 있어요.
네, 이거 거의 사실상 조성주 선수만 할 수 있는
네.
극한의 컨트롤입니다.
지금 저 광전사는 저 사신을 따라다닌다 한들 조성주의 사신 잡을 수가 없어요.
네, 그렇죠. 뭐 컨트롤 아니 우리가 원래 상성상 사신이 사도에게 지거든요.
네.
아니 이걸 컨트롤로 잡으려고 하고 있으니까.
이걸 광전사까지.
근데 이쪽 들어오면 오른쪽에
심리전?
사신 또 들어가서 오른쪽 또 때리겠죠?
네.
자,
설마
잡았어요.
잡았어요.
조성주
미쳤어요.
상을 초월하는 극한의 컨트롤.
아니 저 사신으로 사도를 잡는 컨트롤을 누가 해요? 지금 한 번도 못 보여줬습니다.
네.
그거 막을 수 있나요? 당황해서 홀드해놨어요.
네. 올라갑니다. 기세 좋게 올라갑니다. 수정타 깨지고요.
자 컨트롤 꼼꼼하게 해줘야 되는데요.
들어도 잡을 수 있는 화력이 없어요.
높이까지 추적자 넘기면서 잡았어요.
지상병력 프로토스 없죠.
자
불사 에너지가
그러면 세 번째 세트도 가져갈 수 있을까?
치즈!
조성주 압도적인 컨트롤, 미친 컨트롤 최후의 테란이라는 그 증거를 보여줍니다.
나갔어요.
또 가요.
나갔어요.
네, 조성주.
나갔어요. 9시간 됐는데도 없네. 그럼 본진 쪽에 관문 찍고 무난하게 운영하려고 할 텐데 병영 자체가 모든 경기 통틀어서 이번이 제일 빨라요.
네.
너무 빨리 왔어요. 너무 빨리 정찰을 하다 보니까 몰랐어요. 못 봤어요.
이거 사신이 무서워서 못 싸워요.
아니 이제 사신이 사도 이기는 게 당연해 보여요.
네.
아니
와.
너무 뭐예요 이거?
조성주가 컨트롤러 사도를 잡아내기 직전입니다.
모기 사슬에서 사도가 사신에게 이겨야 됩니다.
사도가 사신한테 계속 져요.
아니,
상성을 무시하는 컨트롤.
자연의 섭리를 깨고 있습니다.
자,
앞에.
금메달 사냥 갑니다.
건설로만 다
올라갑니다.
왔어요.
금메달 세레머니 보여줍니까?
예언자가 있지만 건설로만 붙으면 못 잡죠.
자, 밀어낼 수 있나요? 예언자가 위쪽에서 타격을 가해주고 있습니다만 아래쪽에 막을 병력이
지금
있습니까?
사이클론 체력이 금빛이에요.
세계에서 모든 플레이어들이 가장 무서워하는 게 코리안 치즈러시거든요.
네.
보막 정전소 깨졌고 사이클론 죽어대고 있습니다. 중앙지역 건넜어요.
앞마당도 풍전 중화.
사이클론이 급빈 미사일을 쏘고 있습니다.
올라갑니다. 올라갈 수 있습니다. 병력이 무너집니다.
예언자가 잡을 수 있는 화력이 절대 아닙니다.
추가 병력 계속해서
도착!
오고요.
또 다시 한번 사이클론이 황금빛으로
지제! 조성주 e스포츠 최초의 금메달을 획득합니다.
그것도 무패로 가장 완벽하게 단 한 번의 위기도 겪지 않고 조성주 선수가 한국 e스포츠의 이런 그 힘을 저력을 보여주는 데 성공했습니다.
자, 조성주 선수가 호명이 됐고요.
이제
대형 태극기.
우승자만이 금메달리스트만이 할 수 있는.
네.
조성주도 약간은 쑥스러워하는 모습을 보여주고 있는데
네.
그래도
저 미소.
네,
진짜
멋지네요.
자랑스럽습니다. 네. 아시안 게임 스타트 부분 금메달 조성주입니다.
챔피언.
골드 메달리스트 들으셨습니까?
골드메달리스트의 챔피언의 리퍼블릭 오브 코리아까지
와.
듣고 싶었던 단어는 다 나온 것 같아요.
네. 조성주의 환한 미소. 조성주 덕분에 저희가 오늘 이 미소보다 더 큰 미소를 지었습니다.
There's a place at the end of the
road. 2018 GSL Season 3 Rock Shear. 2018 GSL Season 3. This is Rock Shear.
Guys, what's going on? We're back at the GSL. Crazy news has occurred. Just recently, Maru, an Asia Games champion. He took home the gold.
Yeah. Is it crazy news, though?
It was the most predictable thing that could have happened.
Ever.
Out of any major sporting match ever. Yeah, he was going to win that. But congrats to him. That's the cool.
Yeah.
What's more important is that this is the start of something really exciting in esports. As we're continuing to branch out and kind of infest and take over everything.
Yeah, we're like the Zerg in that way.
Exactly.
The
We are the
spread is
Zerg.
real.
Yeah.
Of course, we had a round of 8 start already. We had Neeb beat Rogue, and then unfortunately Leenock was still recovering from the hospital. So TY just absolutely smashed him. That was actually a really sad match to watch. Hopefully Leenock continues to play well into next year. But now we have the other side of the bracket taste. There's a bunch of former GSL champs, some of the most qualified players ever to be in the round of 8.
That's right. It's going to be a really good mirror matchup day here today. Also, we want to point out that the beginning of ASL is later on tonight. Same studio.
That's right. Different channel.
Different channel. We'll be supplying you guys with that information. I think you can get on Team Liquid as well, but
Probably, but check us out on Twitter and we'll
we'll keep you guys posted. But if you want to continue watching us throughout the entire day, we're going to be here all day.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a little break in between to get some dinner.
Hopefully, yeah, maybe take a nap and then come back and hit it hard. But it is going to be a lot of fun. We've been doing KSL. The finals for that are coming up. But ASL, the OG of the new StarCraft shows is back. So you do want to join us for that, too.
And that's so exciting. The ASL's fantastic. Jaedong plays tonight, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be packed down here. People are really pumped to have 2 leagues back in Korea for StarCraft 1. But enough talk about that. It's StarCraft 2 time.
You're right.
Okay?
How dare I?
Yeah.
This is going to be a sick day of mirror matchups.
Yeah, well, these mirror matchups are insanely awesome. Maru, yeah, we don't need to say too much, right? He's won the last 2 GSLs. He just won the Asia Games. He's on fire. And he's going up against GuMiho, who has been underrated the entire season. Every time we see him play, he's magnificent.
We're going to go to that interview now.
조성주 선수와 고병재 선수 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
GSL representative Terrence. Hello, everybody.
네, 먼저 아시안 게임 금메달리스트 조성주 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
So we've got the Asia Game gold medalist tomorrow. Congratulations. He says thank you.
어떠세요?
So you just landed in Korea. How are you feeling today?
네.
지금 너무 힘든데 그래도
I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm not feeling great.
그냥 빌드로 이겨야 될 것 같아요.
But I'm just thinking about how I'm going to try to perform today.
아직도 조성주 선수가
I'm going to have to rely on my build to the strats I've already prepped.
생생하게 기억이 납니다. 애국가가 울려 퍼질 때 정말 감동적이었거든요. 그때 순간에 어떤 느낌이었는지 들어볼 수 있을까요?
일단 그때 제가
a lot of StarCraft fans have been really surprised and happy to see you getting the first gold medal in StarCraft 2. How did you feel?
좀 뭉클해지더라고요. 그래서
When I heard the national anthem playing, it kind of touched my heart. I was really glad I could make that happen.
자, 그렇다면 이번에는 고병재 선수 만나보겠습니다. 이번 시즌은 고병재 선수의 천적 극복 스토리예요. 32강에서 김준호, 16강에서 박명우, 그리고 8강 조성주 선수인데요. 조성주 선수 준비는 잘 된 것 같으세요?
네, 제가 명백히
How was your preparation to go up against Maru?
그래가지고 되게 좀 많이 준비를 했는데 아무래도 상대가 조성주 선수다 보니까
I prepared a lot.
오히려
But you know, it is Maru.
되는 것 같은 면이 있는 거예요.
네.
그래도
I think even if I prep really hard, it's still going to be tricky.
네.
I feel a lot of pressure, to be honest.
16강에서도 준비에 고병재 선수답게 이 죽음의 조를 통과하는 모습을 보여주셨는데요. 이 조성주 선수 아시안
GuMiho, we
게임을
know you as someone who
어떤
prepares
소감이
perfectly,
있었나요?
especially against top-tier opponents. Did you watch any of Maru's Asian games and take any notes? Was that helpful in your prep? No, I did not really watch the Asian games.
재밌게 게임하시는 것 같아가지고.
Not watching seriously, at least. Not watching to study.
시청하진 않고 그 시간에 오히려 연습을 했고요.
네.
우승할
I tried to just
알고 있었기 때문에
not let what the strats used to their impact how
시청하지 않았다. 재밌는
he was going to play there. I knew he was going to win the gold medal anyways.
30분 만에
So I wasn't surprised to see that.
금메달을 목에 거는 모습을 저희가 봤습니다. 오늘은 몇 분 컷 예상하시나요?
In the finals, he won in 30 minutes at the Asia Games.
똑같이 30분 하고 싶은데.
How do you predict today's games are going to go?
워낙 잘하시는 선수라서.
Well, let's hope it's another 30 minutes. So I'm not feeling too great. But you know, it's GuMiho, so I think it's going to be maybe 2 hours.
투병형 아마 하긴 하겠죠. 근데.
네.
Do you think Maru's bluffing when he says he's going to go for long macro games?
안 하는 게 좋을 것 같다. 이렇게
I think it's going to be better if it's not 2-hour games, especially if it's Maru. Hopefully it'll be nice and short for him since his condition is bad.
길목에 와 있습니다. 서로에게 쉽지 않은 경기가 될 것 같은데요. 서로에게 강력한 한마디씩 나누고 오늘 경기 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 자, 먼저 금메달리스트 한마디 해주세요.
Well, we're almost ready to start the games. Anything you want to say to each other? You first, Maru.
네.
To GuMiho? Yes.
딱히 할 말이 없는데.
I don't have much to say to GuMiho, to be honest.
30분 만에 끝내고 가겠다.
워낙 잘하시는 선수.
So you're not going to say much? You just finish the games quickly?
생각으로 좀 많이 게임했는데.
No, look, I think GuMiho's a strong player.
네, 재미있는 게임 나왔으면 좋겠다.
I didn't have a ton of time to put in any prep.
자, 고병재 선수 작년 GSL 시즌2 4강에서 한짜기로 조성주 선수를 꺾은 바 있습니다. 어떤 한마디 들려주실까요?
올해는 조성주
GuMiho, you
선수한테
defeated Maru in the
너무
past to
많이
become a champion. You have
졌거든요,
anything you want to say to him?
그래서 오늘은 꼭 복수할 테니까 각오하시길 바랍니다.
This year, I've lost a lot of momentum, especially against Maru, but I'm going to do my best to get revenge on him today.
GSL 두 상징과 같은 테란의 대결 지금부터 시작하겠습니다.
All right, that does it for our interview. Now we're going to get into the games.
Okay.
Maru versus GuMiho. This is going to be a lot of fun. You can see their offline match history. Maru has been more dominant. But I do want to point out, I think Maru going to the Asia Games were basically, by the way, when Dan and me were laughing during that interview, when Gary was asking, you know, did you watch the games and use that to prep?
Yeah.
You know, what was funny about it was Maru was so much better than his opponents. He was basically styling on them.
Yeah,
he was clowning on him.
He was doing like 2-base battle cruiser and stuff.
Right. But he did just come back from a long trip. He has not had a lot of time to prepare. And he said he was feeling a little bit sick, which is not surprising if you do a tournament like that overseas.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe Maru's condition's not as good, and maybe GuMiho can actually take this.
Well, whether his condition is good or bad, GuMiho can take this. And I do want to mention that Maru is the exact guy who will play the best series of his life and then tell you he was at 40%. This is literally that guy that stupid meme comes from. Like
this is true. Yeah.
These guys, like
him and innovation.
They undersell themselves all the time, and it's so I'm not really trusting it too much. Maru is basically always playing some tip-top games, so I think he's going to bring it today. And you know, everyone he is the talk of the town, right? It's like basically this year is just about Maru and Serral, but like that just is making it so that these other players are flying under the radar a little bit. And one of the guys who's really flying under the radar is GuMiho.
Yeah.
His games so far this season, every time we've seen him play in the groups, we're kind of like not thinking about him too much, not talking about him too much, because he's good, he's a champion, he gets reasonably deep every time, he has potential to knock out everyone, but this season in particular is kind of looking like the season that he won before with his skill level in comparison to everyone else's. Like,
yeah.
There was a long lull since his last championship, but right now he is playing at such a level that if he won, people should not actually be surprised. He just, for some reason, there's not that much hype around GuMiho right at this minute.
Game 1 is going to be on Dreamcatcher. Again, guys, this is a best of 5 here. I expect this to be reasonably long, but I also expect Maru to do some proxies here. He's been proxying a lot, Artosis.
Yeah, he definitely likes to make his buildings out on the map.
All right, this is game 1. Let's go. Maru versus GuMiho.
Fight.
$3,770 matches. Wow. Top left.
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
Yes, he won the Asia Games. And in the bottom right, former champion.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
Yeah, so this guy is a little bit of an underdog. But I don't think really that much at all, to be honest. Like, Maru's TVT is not the same level of his other matchups. Like, he doesn't differentiate himself from the other few Terrans in TVT, in my opinion. If you put him up against an Innovation, a TY, or a GuMiho, I think that right there, I don't know who wins that. That's a close, nice match.
Yeah, tough to call. Maru, by the way, sending his SCV out now. And I just want to put it out there. I feel like even though Maru tends to downplay, you know, where he feels like he's at skill-wise, or you know, he plays an insane game and then he ranks himself at like a C+ or something weird like that, at D+. I do think that trip probably took a little bit of a toll on him.
Sure.
You know, flying all the way. Jakarta is far away from Seoul. That's a long flight.
That is it like 7-8 hours, something like that? Because I've gone to Singapore a few times. Isn't that normally?
Gosh, I went to Jakarta like a long time ago. It's a long flight though.
Yeah.
It's grueling.
The time zone is not that different though. It's like an hour difference, I think.
Yeah, that you have going for you.
Yeah.
But Yeah, he might have got a little bit sick from that flight, being in a different country, different food and stuff. So hopefully he's recovered well enough. I think Game 1 and Game 2 are really going to let us know, okay, where's Maru at? If we see anything a little bit weird or suspicious.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I want to know what you think is the actual result of this series before we see things.
Even if he says his condition's not good, I still expect Maru to win.
Yeah.
Maru basically in Korea has been like the most unstoppable force among the Koreans. I mean, this is why the Cyril Maru narrative was so exciting in GSL versus the world. It's like, you know, who's really on top, right? And of course, the World Championships are coming up, right? So we're going to get to test that again here. Both these guys are like, we joke about it, but 1%ers with the amount of WCS points they have, right?
Yeah.
Such a high disproportionate amount. Oh, hold on a second before I talk about the abstract here. These Reapers are coming in here.
Oh, looks actually missed targeting there. That top Marine actually had like one hit on it forever.
Yeah. Looks like this is finally going to end here as this last Hellion comes up. But to what I was saying, I just feel as though you have to expect Maru to win. GuMiho could take it, but I think this would just be a 3-2 win for Maru here. What about you?
Well, I think it'll certainly be close. It's not. I can't imagine a sweep in either direction.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of what I've seen game-wise this season out of these two, I'm a little bit more impressed from GuMiho thinking back, right? Like, for instance, he got second and he has to play against Maru here, but he got second in a really weird series against Dark, then came back and killed him, right? So I don't even really count that as much.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not
I think GuMiho's playstyle has been cooler, but Maru's definitely brought the results, you know?
He's certainly brought the results, yeah. But I think GuMiho's kind of doing that as well. And Maru is very good TVT, don't get me wrong. But GuMiho's quite strong in this matchup. So I don't know. I want to bail out of answering your question. I don't really know who's going to win, but I seriously won't be surprised if GuMiho does take it.
We've got the Banshee coming down now for Maru. His cloak's almost done. Looks like the Marine will tip that off, but let's see if he's actually ready. GuMiho is back home.
Yeah, he certainly is ready.
It's the second Raven now, already out.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. Is he going to try to chuck an auto turret? No, I guess he decides he can't really get it.
Can't quite catch it. That was so low, though. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, he might try to intercept it here. You can see that Maru's Banshee's eventually going to have to curve around. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he can quite get the auto turret out. It won't get the shot. Cast range not quite long enough and everything. Nice try catching it, though. Second Banshee coming out. Let's see what this one can get done. You know, blocking Maru's Banshees is definitely a big step in the right direction. This is one of the original players that would just rally Banshees non-stop at you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, second Banshee's coming up. And it looks like he's basically predicted where it was going to be. Although he did not have his Cyclone set up in the right spot. So the Banshee's going to get some kills off. This means both the Banshees basically get away. They're going to be factors for the rest of this game. So we want to watch for them later on. Maru continuing to get his third command center and more tanks coming up here. We have a Liberator tech and plenty more Marines coming here from GuMiho.
Oh, whoa! Wow, he's going to pick up the kill there. Huh. Yeah, Maru not really finding much damage anywhere. By the way, he did hit that scan onto GuMiho. And GuMiho was making the double eBay. He sees this, so should know that this is in fact going to be bio play. It's always a big question with GuMiho, what he's going to bring out. And GuMiho just going to get slightly quicker upgrades here. Really getting his production down as well.
You really do have to think, though, that those Banshees that came out and the investment of the detection, that's really hurting that it didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we didn't get more than an SCV and a Marine, right? So
yeah,
that's a little bit troublesome.
It certainly is. Like, GuMiho just a little bit faster on everything else. He's got some great defensive things, but it's not like any sort of game-ending situation when you think about it, right? Because, like, what did he make to kill these Banshees? Like, he's got these Cyclones. The Ravens are very good, but the Cyclones are almost to the point of not being useful anymore. Like, they'll still be useful for a little bit, but the later you get into the game, they just don't scale well.
Right. They have a lot of that you can do with, like, early on in mid-game, and that might be why GuMiho's going to move out now.
Yeah.
Okay, GuMiho actually going to try to come around the corner. I'm a little bit surprised when he saw those rocks are getting damaged and even wanted to try to come with that little chunk of his army.
Yeah.
But he's going to try to loop around here now. Maru's scanning. Maru does get his third base a little bit more quickly. The Liberator's going to come over here and try to set up. Viking's already here to shut that down. But meanwhile, down here in the bottom, a push over here on Maru's base.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to get too much done, but with double Ravens, you actually, and those have been out for a while, by the way. Definitely has a lot more energy than his opponent here. You have some potential. Look at that, he's actually dealing a lot of damage at this point.
Yeah.
A little bit of mismicro there.
Getting drawn out there is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But CC's low, but I don't think he's going to take it out. 1-1 Weapons is going to finish up here.
GuMiho has his own third starting in mind just now, so
right.
Looking pretty strong for GuMiBear.
Oh, I like another siege mode setup right over here. By the way, Stiff just finished, which is kind of funny. You don't normally see a push out like that. Stiff, by the way, finishing before the stim here of Maru.
Maru getting that air advantage, though. He does have more Vikings, forcing back GuMiho.
Yeah, 1-1 nearly done now from Maru. It's 5 tanks to 4, so nobody really has, well, it's actually 5-5 now. Nobody with more muscle to try to set up and push.
Yeah.
Keep in mind on Dreamcatcher, there's a lot of ways that you can try to maneuver around your opponent to try to get a surprise setup. That's why they have those destructible rocks, excuse me, in the middle of the map, is that you have the opportunity to try to slow that down.
The air advantage is going to be very, very important moving forward here as well. Notice the remaining Cyclones kind of being sent out on the map by both sides. They just become less and less useful as the game goes on, so things like little scoutings and harassments can be a good way to use them.
And Maru's going to come down here now, just hitting that sensor tower. Takes out one of those Cyclones, nicely done by GuMiho. Yeah, I mean, it's been a fairly neck-and-neck game for the time being, you know?
Yeah, it seems like GuMiho is just ever so slightly outdoing Maru so far, but the amounts by which he's outdoing him are not things that can really decide the game.
Yeah, a lot of little victories here, like getting that CC to lift and then doing some damage and then running back.
Kill a couple Banshees, you know.
Well, GuMiho's going to try to move out again on the map.
Now, GuMiho is surprisingly good at attacking with a set of units like this. Like, remember Innovation? When he just went and broke him? When Innovation had sensor towers up and a good amount of siege tanks and everything, and GuMiho still, he just kind of maneuvered around and eventually broke through. Of course, it was a different map, a different situation.
There was a drop, a big pickup over there, so Maru does not have his entire army with him right now. In fact, that's headed, I believe, towards the main. Yeah, looping around here. It's still a little bit of a distance to travel. In fact, he's going to unload it. He might try just roaming down there.
Yeah, I like this type of TVT. In my opinion, this is the best way to play. We have players like GuMiho that bring like the entire army and go. And then we have players like TY and Maru who are more likely to defend with most of their army and send a smaller group out to try to get damage. I feel like it's great catch right there. But,
beautiful.
Yeah, he gets punished there, but I like the idea that Maru's going for here. Defend, try to get your bases up and all that, and see if you can find some damage. Unfortunately for him, absolutely not finding it.
So that fourth base is going down now for GuMiho. With that medevac kill, I mean, he's slightly ahead in supply. I do like what you were saying earlier, Tosis, that GuMiho has a really good ability to like get set up and start a fight and kind of win, where a lot of times it seems like the defender's advantage would make it not viable at all to try something like that.
Feels like GuMiho knows everything about tank lines.
Yeah.
He's used mech enough or something. Now look at this. He's doing that exact type of thing we were just talking about. Just kind of getting into the siege tank range. Oh my god.
Okay, Maru just slapped that down so beautifully.
That was a lot of interference matrices all at once. If he had not cast those, GuMiho breaks his position.
Yeah, but now GuMiho's down on a ton of tanks.
Yeah.
I'm worried if this game ends in the next couple minutes here, we're going to have to look back at that moment where that happened, you know?
What a big move. Look at this, 10 siege tanks against 2. GuMiho is in serious trouble. He's got to keep a bit of pressure on, but when you start looking at these sensor towers and things, it's going to be hard to find a way in against Maru.
Okay. Maru now can really assert himself, and he might just try to come here through the top, pushing down, and try squishing GuMiho. I mean, every time that GuMiho tries to come up, when the siege tanks go into siege mood, Siege mode.
Siege mood.
Siege mood.
When they,
I'm wearing my siege mood rings. Every time that they come over there, you can see that GuMiho has to back up. If you look at this moment now, everything is going to get wiped out. And I mean, it's kind of crazy because this game was neck and neck.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. GuMiho's going to try to come from behind. Is this going to work?
Oh, there's those interference matrices once again, and actually a nice anti-armor missile on both sides there of GuMiho's Marine Force, bringing SCVs up from the south, but he doesn't have enough.
That should be game here.
Yeah.
GG. Maru takes game 1.
Yeah, some really strong plays. You can see GuMiho kind of shaking his head there. I mean, very well done by Maru. It seemed like GuMiho had control and was really trying to flex his muscle in this way that we've seen him be very successful in against Innovation. But the interference matrices from Maru that was like almost game ending there. You can't just be like, oh, here's 5, 6 siege tanks. There you go. They're yours.
Yeah, it's too bad. I saw GuMiho with a bit of a nervous laugh after he lost that game. I mean, it seemed like they were toe to toe, right? Mm-hmm. And then he did one of these hold my beer GuMiho moves where you know, he just
hold my beer GuMiho move.
Yeah,
I don't think of him as that guy. I think of Patience maybe, but
no, GuMiho definitely with some of these pushes where he's got all the tanks inside the Medivacs and just drops and sieges up.
I get you.
Okay.
He had that against Innovation, but it worked. So.
All right, map 2, 16-bit. Let's go.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen, guys in the chat, are any of you surprised that Maru is sending 2 SCVs onto the map right now?
Poggers. Is it, though?
Oh, my. Okay, so double proxy racks coming up. Most likely just a double proxy racks Reaper Rush from Maru. Definitely a build that he is extremely good at. You know, I guess we just wait and see how GuMiho wants to defend it.
Okay. Down and dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's going to be pretty crappy if GuMiho loses this game right away.
Well, there's definitely a chance that he does, right? Like, in the previous game, he did go barracks first into a command center with a Marine, not a Reaper.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, too, is like, are we at the point where this has become predictable from Maru? Because we've been calling this for a while, right? And it seems like, I initially thought, okay, if he loses a game, he proxies. I think it doesn't matter. He plays a normal game, and then he just starts proxying every game from there on out.
It could be.
Because the only reason why I'm bringing it up at all is that this has happened so many times now where players get caught off guard by it. And I just wonder, like, at this point in time, should you just be playing as if Maru is proxying you? You know,
well,
like looking for it.
It's certainly, if you did do that, you're going to pick up a few more wins against Maru probably, but it's also a gamble, right? Because if you're playing as if he's proxying you, then he's not, well, you're going to be in big trouble, right?
Yeah.
He scouts you with an SCV, you have a bunker at the top of your ramp. He's like, what?
I forgot to tell you about this, man. Yeah, well, we were making this joke at KSL about how you call it a gamble. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
A
gamble. It's a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah. That factory's a little bit late.
I had a dream where we were casting together because I cast a lot, like, in my sleep. But you looked at me when we were in a casino together and you put your chips on the table. You said, it's a little bit of a gamble. And I woke up.
Wow. It's a great dream.
Speaking of nightmares, Maru is coming through here, already taking out this SCV.
When the Reapers get this much heal time while they're in your base killing stuff.
This is where you really have so much momentum.
We're getting so close to a game loss right now.
Yeah.
You know, I came in today and I was thinking,
GG.
This is going to be the best match of the round of 8. Even when I first saw the round of 8, I was like, ooh, Leenock TY and GuMiho Maru. Those are my 2 matches I'm really excited about.
That proxy,
I tell you,
was a little bit of a gamble.
Well,
but it worked out.
It's a bit of a gamble.
It's a gamble. Look at GuMiho. He's like, oh my God, this is really going horribly. It's the towel that's unlucky.
Yeah, well. Oh, where do we go from here, Tasteless?
Oh, man. I mean, this is a really tough one to call. Are all 4 of the players even here yet? Because I only see 3 of them. I didn't see Zest when we got down to the studio. You know,
Zest, I was going to say Zest would be the last to show up. 100% stats would be a punctual guy.
Yeah.
When you play defensive like that, you're on time also.
I just always wonder when because sometimes we've had it where it comes down to the wire where the player's like watching on his phone on the train. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that fast.
Yeah. Well, I think they actually have a set time they have to be here.
Yeah, but they're never here on that time. All right, we're going into game 3. Lost and found.
I'm totally disappointed not to see SCVs on the map for Maru.
What, is he going to make buildings in the middle of his base?
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
And is this guy tilted, do you think?
Storm Gaming, GuMiho.
Losing that game like that in like 2 seconds?
Losing to a gamble like that?
With Maru, it's not even a gamble. I mean, you can scout his proxy racks and can do nothing, and then he just beats you in a
That is
macro
true.
game.
Sometimes you see it, and then you just discover that you're going to lose a little bit more quickly than you expected.
Yeah. Sometimes you see it early and you think you're going to win, and then you just don't in a long macro game. And remember that game where he like proxy racks the Zerg, and then like it all went downhill, and then he just went for a mech game and won?
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Oh, you got to hold that back up. We didn't have time to read that.
It's not easy.
Where its paragraph just flashes it, I have to pause it. But I don't have a pause button, guys.
Yeah.
I watch the actual feed.
Okay. Factory on the way now. Reaper for both sides. Look, I think in game 1 we saw that GuMiho can totally hold his own against Maru. GuMiho just, again, had one of those hold my beer moments and, like, just tried to shove. He's such an interesting player because he just attacks it a lot of times when nobody else would do it. But because he's so good at controlling stuff and so good at reacting just on his side, that he's able to come out and do the damage he needs to do and sometimes flip the game. But against Maru,
as if it were a table.
Yes, as one would say. But let's see what happens this time around. I mean, I don't know if GuMiho's supposed to play more conservatively against Maru, because I feel like he's not supposed to play conservatively in general. That's not what his style is, you know?
Yeah, like, and it's kind of interesting, too, because I wouldn't even call GuMiho, like, super aggressive, right? I don't know, it's an interesting thing always trying to categorize players into boxes, right? Because it's like, I guess Maru definitely you'd side with aggression in early game, but like in his TVT, the later it gets, he actually plays more conservatively like TY.
Yeah.
You know, like he's very likely to be the first one to attack, but then he's also very likely to be defending throughout the mid game. Anyways, looks like Maru trying to get up this ramp.
Okay.
I don't know about this one.
Push comes to shove. He actually does do the damage.
Never mind.
One of these Reapers pretty low. Oh my god, denying the starport, throwing a nade down.
All right, well, that was actually really good.
Terrifying human being.
He is so scary. Why did I think this would be close today?
Okay, Banshee coming up now with Cloak. Let's remember that in game 1, it was 2 cloaked Banshees. They both came out and did basically nothing due to Ravens being out. And he was kind of zoning that away with the Cyclones.
Yeah. Well, the GuMiho's getting a Viking right now, so that, I mean, that bodes partially well, but he didn't make a Raven yet, right?
No.
No, there's no way.
He didn't see the Banshee, did he? That was at such a weird angle. I think the Banshee was actually...
he saw it.
Oh, did he?
Like, because the Hellion has enough vision. I think he knows. Yeah, see, he's actually started an eBay and a Raven, so I do think he saw it.
And this is apparently how you hold off one injured Hellion.
Hey, got
your heart rate does not go up a beat. It's like, yep, he's going to attack 2.
Yeah. These 2 SCVs will kill a Hellion.
Okay, he's going to try to hit from 2 sides now. Looks like, actually, I think everything's basically fine, right? GuMiho should hold this, no problem.
Yeah, he's got the turret. He's got a Raven there, too. Well, let's see what those grenades look like. Okay, the grenades do miss. Just hoping for some miss micro. Doesn't occur, though.
Yeah, this Banshee's barely going to be able to escape here.
Oh, is it tasteless?
Is it tasteless? You were a laughing stock back there. Not seeing that Raven pop out. Okay. GuMiho's looking good. Stim is on the way now. I believe this is before the stim here of this is before the stim here of Maru.
It's actually attacking the actual units here.
I'm really surprised that he's doing this with the Banshee.
Yeah.
I mean, you see 2 Cyclones, and Marines, and a Raven, and you're like, I think I can actually still do damage with my Banshee.
Well, I guess if you're like, he knew the Raven was in the main base for a moment, so he's like, oh, maybe I can pick off a couple Marines or something, right? And get a little edge in that way. But I think that the harassment of Maru is almost over here. There's no more holes to try to poke in against GuMiho. And we see them with completely different styles this time. GuMiho going with the more heavy 2 base, whereas Maru already landing his 3rd command center. And going into mech, by the way. Look, is GuMiho not going mech at all today, and Maru going mech against him?
Yeah.
He's like, I can beat you with bio, I can beat you with proxy racks, I can beat you with mech. Well,
he's already got the gold medal at the Asia Games. He needs to get every other unlockable achievement, you know? Like, you beat GuMiho with every style of Terran. Oh, I thought I was going to get the satisfying moment of seeing a grenade hit a landed Viking, but I guess not. I was waiting for it. I had
bounces
my fingers
it into the air.
That's right. Bounces it. It goes back into fly mode.
Imagine that. Yeah. That would actually be really cool if hitting your Viking with a grenade made it go into fly mode instantly. That would make some interesting micro. Like you go landed Vikings and Reapers. That'd be like a combo unit.
Yeah.
Because a grenade does so little damage, you could just insta-lift off.
So funny. Okay, so we're basically in now a standard TVZ. Nothing. There were some crazy attempts to hurt each other early on. Nothing really crazy resulted from that. Maru's got his 3rd base up a little bit more quickly than GuMiho's. GuMiho's is not actually done yet over the 3rd base. But that may mean that GuMiho's going to try to come out here and put pressure on the map. His stim is just now finished, so he can start to actually use his Marines to fight.
Well, he's going to have to put some pressure on, right? You can't be going bio against mech, have your opponent have a landed CC before you start yours at the 3rd, and then sit back. Like, he has got to get out there and mix it up a little bit. Is he going to be able to find any damage, though? Oh, my God, that would have been...
Yeah.
Kills ESU
that would have been
twice.
huge.
Like, that's when you know it. If you're laddering that happens, you're like, okay, this guy's better than me.
Yeah. I got a real game on my hands.
Yeah. This is a tough one.
Okay. GuMiho's still going to move out. Again, he's getting 5 Marines out at a time. Due to the tech difference in decision-making here from Maru, there's a chance he could be vulnerable here. He's going to have to rely heavily on his tanks in a good position where the Stim Marines can't hit him. The siege tanks can't siege and surprise him.
I think what we're going to see is Maru jump on the Raven. Oh, why is the Raven back there? He has to have the Raven for this attack because Interference Matrix is like crucial when you hit this timing. He actually really screwed up leaving that back there, I think.
I think that might have just been a straight up mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
Like not like he was tactically leaving the Raven back there for any purpose.
I mean, I guess it's sitting, so there's a possibility he thought a Banshee was going to come in, but normally if you move out with Bio Tank against Mech at this time, you're counting on an Interference Matrix or 2 and stimming in and killing tanks. He left it back, though, and I was excited because normally the Mech player is aiming to Interference Matrix your Raven so he can pick it off before Interference Matrixes his tanks, and it's kind of a fun little micro battle. Like, watch. Here. He's keeping it zoned out with those Vikings.
Well, I don't know if GuMiho can do anything now.
No, I don't think so, right?
This might have just taken too much time. You can see the Vikings are coming out trying to snipe that Raven, too.
Well, that's like the only thing that's actually super scary here. There is a lot of bio, but the siege tanks will really soften it all up. And then you can notice the constant scans, by the way, because for Maru right now, it's just about living. If he can just kind of stay alive, continue to build command centers and mech units, the longer GuMiho goes without doing damage to Maru, the more Maru's lead improves.
Okay, another scan down here. He sees the movement right now of the army. GuMiho just looking for some place to set up. I don't think Maru's going to give it to him, though, you know? He's just staying back. Even with the Cyclones kind of poking out here, is there anywhere else he could shave off part of that army?
And I think that GuMiho is really, the way he's moving with his medevacs right now, he's looking for an area to drop his siege tanks and insta-siege. Oh, this is so cool.
What?
Wow.
What's
Maru
going on?
is so stylish. It's insane.
This
he's
is
switching
just
into
really
bio
interesting.
here from
He's
mech.
like going mech into bio, dude. What?
Yeah, and he's even
It's
going
like-
for 2-2 mech first.
This
so
is like he's doing the opposite of the Flash in StarCraft 1. He's like, well, no, you get mech units out, and then you got to go into bio, man.
yeah, it's a very weird thing to end up seeing. Some of these weird bio into mech or mech into bio plays that we've seen very rarely, but occasionally. Even since Wings Liberty, we saw some people try. Didn't Byun have a build kind of similar like this? Where he went mech for a bit and went into bio or something?
I actually can't recall that off the top of my head, man.
Yeah, that was
Maybe
like
he
a
did.
million years ago.
Yeah,
But
then again, the
anyways.
thing is, it might have been so long ago. I don't know if it's
No, it's
valid to point out, right?
Oh, well, Tasteless, let me tell you it's valid because I'm talking about how weird it is. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested he's trying it.
Okay. Stim is near completion here for the hidden biotech. GuMiho's going to try to crack through this area, targeting down that planetary. But it should be pretty doable to just nudge tanks forward.
Yeah.
He has to unsiege and just back up. Now, again, GuMiho, with the slight supply advantage, is trying to orbit around this army, this position here of Maru and look for an opening. However, I don't know that he's going to find that. Can he try to disable these tanks over here?
Yeah, and he actually does disable and starts to move in right now. Oh my god, that was a great missile. Maru moving up right now. Look at this. GuMiho, I think, is starting to figure this out. He's like, that's a lot of Marines, actually.
Yeah.
And that's 2-2 mech.
Ooh, good shots there, disabling those tanks on the way back. Again, GuMiho kind of running into a wall here. Maru now already maxed up, pumping out an insane number of infantry. Is Maru going to counter push now? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, there's like an insane thing that I saw in the production tab right before that battle started. Maru was producing 15 Marines at a time and GuMiho 5. I'm like,
So
oh my
crazy.
god, what am I even looking at? But this switch, this is... What am I looking at, man? Look at that. A ton of tanks with 2-2. Maru's 2-2 is barely behind GuMiho's for his bio units. Maru here on 4 bases. I guess GuMiho has that as well.
Okay, he's regrouping. You know that GuMiho is realizing, okay, the threat of Maru actually coming up here and doing, to me, what I tried to do to him is really real. And again, with the amount of infantry that's coming out, I don't know how GuMiho matches this, you know? Plus, you lose tanks at this point in time. As Maru, you're okay. You can still make plenty more tanks, you know?
Yeah. What an interesting game here. Look at this. He's actually starting 3-3 for his mech as well.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be able to go all the units, right?
This is
like,
what
am I even? What?
I was gonna say something like this. It's like, oh, he just goes for everything. Because if you have everything in high upgrades and high numbers, well, then of course you're gonna win. It's like, yeah, but that's not how StarCraft works.
Right?
It's like then 2018 came along and Maru did that.
Yeah.
Then
So
I'm not
you
even sure how I'm supposed to commentate this.
It's like, dudes, we have mules.
Look at this. He's like, what? You just have more of everything?
Yeah. He's got 2-2 and 2-2 mech. And GuMiho's sitting here with Marauders. Yeah, those are going to do well against Marines. I don't even know, man. GG.
Crazy.
What
What
did
is
we just
going on?
see? He actually went mech into bio.
I think because he shows those mech units early on, Terran does, the infantry player does make Marauders, right?
Yeah.
But the follow-up from that is the infantry, and Marines always beat Marauders, I think.
Yeah, well, they certainly do. They certainly do, and he gets a huge Marine count, so I guess that's good. It's just, it's such a... I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
If I could use a metaphor for that series, I feel like Maru took GuMiho and threw him in the air, and GuMiho just kept going up and just went into outer space and disappeared. It's like
Tasteless.
We kept thinking he was going to come back down and land, and we're like, oh,
Can I reword that for you for the fans to truly understand? He just monster punched him to the moon.
Thank you.
GSL도 3대 0입니다. 3연속 4강을 이룬 조성주 선수 만나보겠습니다.
He did it again, 3-0. You made it to the semifinals, Maru. Congratulations.
와,
Thanks.
컨디션 난조 속에서도 3대 0, 또 3연속 4강입니다.
You said your condition wasn't very good today, but you got you won every game. How do you feel?
내 버리고 왔는데 이렇게 이기게 돼서 너무 좋은
I just tried to empty my mind.
3회 연속 우승이라는 걸
I'm really glad I won.
기억할 수 있는 기회가 주어지다 보니까 더 좋은 것 같아요.
I'm still going to try to get my goal of winning every GSL this year.
난조 속에서도 기량을 가릴 수가 없었던 것 같은데요. 1세트 경우도 시종일관 불리했거든요.
It was amazing, your performance tonight.
와, 방해 매트릭스 나왔을 때 다들 깜짝 놀랐어요. 이 교전 한 순간만을 위해 기다리신 건가요?
Everyone was very surprised when you used some of those
interference matrix.
The interference matrix, thank you.
잘한다고 생각해서 그냥 움직이기만 잘 따라가자고 생각했는데 좀 잘 따라다닌 것 같아서 그런 기회가 주어진 것 같아요.
Once I knew I could get into the late game, I was confident. I know I could just do whatever I got to do and I'll win.
나오는 타이밍도 예술이었어요. 2세트는 상대가 완벽히 배제했을 때 나오니까.
So the proxy Raxus, that's your signature play.
이것도
It seems like GuMiho had discounted that as being a possibility in game 2.
연장선에서 쓰신 거겠죠?
I love those mind games from you. Was that pre-planned or did you improvise that?
거분이 좋아가지고 배제할 줄 알았거든요.
So I practiced a lot with Cure.
잘 통해서
And it seems like on 16-bit,
좋은 것 같아요.
I basically knew that my opponent would not factor in a proxy. Because using a proxy on 16-bit is actually pretty difficult.
높은 것 같습니다. 조성주 선수 그 어느 때보다도 정말 기량이 뛰어난 것 같은데 마지막으로
So you have a very high chance of getting in your third consecutive GSL Codex finals.
김대엽 선수와 주성우 선수.
Let's talk about the semifinals
어떤
first.
선수 원하시나요? 다
It's going to be a
상관없나요?
match between either Zest or Stats.
둘 다 무서워가지고
You'll face the winner of that match. Any preference?
없는데 그래도 무난한 대결이
No preference.
근데 두 선수에게 모두 준우승을
They're both strong.
안겨주셨잖아요 올해.
But if I had to pick one, I got Stats.
혹시 잊고 계셨어요?
생각 못 하고 있어요.
두 선수에게 혹시
But
마음이
you've beaten Zest in the
가볍다 이런
finals in the
마음
past.
있으신가요?
Stats too, though. Come on.
그런 건 별로 없었는데
네.
지금
Don't you feel pressure facing them?
좀 어렵다 보니까
네.
Yeah, but I don't think like that.
좀 배워야 될 것 같아요.
태양 선수에게 배우겠다 이야기를
TVP
하셨는데요.
seems hard.
알겠습니다. 마지막으로 팬들에게
I'm gonna
한마디
have to go
들어볼게요.
ask TY for help.
일단 어제 기억해서 걱정
Any
많으셨을
words to your fans?
텐데 이렇게 올라가게 됐으니까
I know some of my fans are worried about my conditions as I landed in Korea yesterday. But hey, I did it. I won. Please keep cheering for me. See you guys in the semifinals. Congrats. Damn, how quick was that? What?
That was super quick.
1:44. We started at 1. We're not done yet, but I mean,
what was this mech
that was really fast.
thing? He was getting 3-3 for his mech units while stimming in to kill GuMiho's third base.
We don't see. We've seen people that go bio and then like switch into mech in both versions of StarCraft. We've seen that. He was on 3 or 4 factories and then he threw down, I think it was 6 barracks. We got to go to a break. When we come back, our PvP. Stick around.
The feeling's electric. Why would you run from me, yeah? You could just run to me, yeah. The feeling's electric. The feeling's electric. They call me a damsel in distress 'cause I want my prize. The one with the kingdom and the big brown eyes. The one with the voice that can boom like music. Oh my, does he know how to use it? I'm not playing with ya. He looks into your eyes, knows what to say to ya. He's so beautiful, that's the consensus. Set the crown jewels, I will be his princess. I like him for his smile, I like him for his hair, I like him for his style, I like him 'cause he's so debonair. He's my trophy boy, my trophy boy, my trophy boy. I want him for myself, I wanna lock him down. I want that ring on my finger like I want that crown. He's my trophy boy, my trophy boy, my trophy boy. He's so vicious, so totally one way. And no one wasn't listening, but he's totally funny. And I don't even care if he ever makes a sound. Just as long as when you see me, he's around and he's bound to me. also got a sensitive side. When everybody's gotta pick a side, it don't matter if you're wrong or right, no. And so it goes, but I hold on to hope and I won't let go, 'cause I believe you and me are sisters and brothers, and I believe we're made to be here for each other, and we'll never fall if we walk hand in hand. Put a world that seems broken together again, yeah. I believe in the end, love wins. Sometimes it takes a lot of faith to keep believing there will come a day when the tears and the sadness, the pain and the hate, the struggle, this madness will all fade away, yeah. I believe you and me are sisters and brothers, and I believe we're made to be here for each other, and we'll never fall if we walk hand in hand. Put a world that seems broken together again, yeah. I believe in the end, love wins. Love is power, love is a smile, love reaches out, love is the remedy, love is the answer, love's an open door, love is the only thing worth fighting for, yeah. I believe you and me are sisters and brothers, and I believe we're made to be here for each other, and we'll never fall if we walk hand in hand. Put a world that seems broken together again, yeah. I believe in the end, love wins. Oh yeah, love wins. Love will, love can, love still, love wins. Love will, love can, love still, love wins.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
Rockshear.
That's what it is.
It's Rockshear.
This is Rockshear.
Wait,
that series we just saw was certainly Rockshear for GuMiho.
That was Rockshear. This is Rockshear. Only a few more days of Rockshear coming up here, Artosis.
That's true. Just a round of 4 after this. Now, this round of 8 has been pretty bad, I would say. Like, this tournament has been really good, but the round of 8 has been so one-sided, right?
That only means we're going to have a great round of 4.
Yeah, no, this is something I'm getting to, right? Is like, this has always been a thing where, like, if the round of 4 is super close and awesome, then the finals is bad. Or, you know, that's a type of thing that we see a lot of the time. I don't know why, but am a human, so I have pattern recognition skills.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm thinking the round of 4 will be pretty sick.
We are going to go to an interview now with our 2 Protoss players before we start this best of 5.
최강 푸프전으로 만나게 된 두 선수 바로 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 먼저 김대엽 선수입니다. 올해 GSL 단위 리그에서만 3번의 결승에 올랐습니다. 정말 대단한데요.
Zest,
가장 꾸준한
you've
선수
been in
중에
3
한 명인데
GSL finals.
예감은 어떠신가요?
Super tournaments, GSL vs. the World in Season 1. How do you feel about this season?
일단 8강부터 굉장히 좀 고비여가지고.
Well, the quarterfinal.
일단
that was
되게
so close.
지금까지는 결승까지는 바라보고 있지도 않고.
Up until now,
최선을 다해야 될 것 같아요.
I'm not really assuming I'm going to be in the finals. I'm just trying to take it step by step.
3연속 8강에 오른 주성 선수고요. 또 그 사이에 중국에서 우승컵을 들고 왔습니다.
Zest.
먼저 축하드립니다.
This could be your 3rd finals in the GSL.
네, 자 귀국하시고 GSL 경기
Before
임하게
that, you were a
됐는데
champion in
컨디션
China.
괜찮으세요?
Coming back to Korea, how do you feel?
컨디션이 중국 갔다 왔을 때는
And how's your condition?
지금 이틀 전에 감기 기운이 있어가지고.
Pretty okay, I guess.
좀 좋지는 않은 것
But
같아요.
I actually got a cold a couple days ago. I wasn't able to prep that well, so I can't say I'm in perfect
김대엽
condition.
선수를 만나게 됐는데 어떠신가요?
8강도
So Stats is not the opponent that you wanted. Is that true?
잘한다는 선수를 만났는데 4강도 성주라서 이번 시즌은 좀 마음을 비우려고.
벌써부터 마음을 비우시면 안
Quarterfinals got some very strong opponents. We already know who we're going to be facing in the semis, which is Maru. So I think I got to really focus on each game one step at a time.
김대엽 선수가 더 좋습니다. 그런데 김대엽 선수가 이 푸푸전 개념을 주성
So when we look
선수에
in the past, your offline PvP was you're actually ahead.
했었거든요. 이런 얘기는 주성 선수에게 좀
But
기분
Stats said he learned a lot of
좋은 이야기가 될 것
PvP
같은데요.
and understands PvP from players like you, Zest. What's your take on his comments?
저는 약간 있는 거를 다 알려.
So we practice together a lot.
대엽이는 좀 약간 숨기는 것 같아가지고.
네.
And I let him know all my tips and all my
당하는 느낌이
theories.
들긴 하네요.
아 김대엽 선수 그런 스타일이셨어요.
I think he's got a few secrets hidden from me.
어떻게 이야기하시겠어요?
Stats, are you that kind of person? What do you think on? What's your take on Zest's comments?
제가 아는 선에서 이렇게 다 알려준다고 이렇게 생각을 하는데 성욱이가 그렇게 느꼈다.
I also have given him all my tips.
네. 두
So I
선수는
didn't know I'd have those kind of thoughts on me.
오래 먹기도 하고 또
I feel sad that
라이벌이기
he's
전에 친구이기도 한
giving me those kind of
동갑내기
vibes.
친구인데요. 두 선수는 어떻게 서로를 생각하고
So
있는지
these two are
궁금하네요.
former KT
라이벌 의식을
teammates.
많이 느끼는지 또 궁금합니다.
Do you feel a rivalry between you two?
저는 라이벌 의식을 느끼진 않고 그냥 성욱이하고 이렇게 같이 잘했으면 좋겠어요.
No, I don't think of him as my rival.
근데 이렇게 8강
I just want to have some good games. And I'm hoping that together we're going to produce some awesome, fun results for everybody watching.
네. 8강에서 만났을 땐 그래도 친구보다는 라이벌이 아닐까요?
It is also a sorry situation to face my former teammate.
어릴 때부터
And what about you, Zest?
스타1 시절 때부터 보고 배웠던 친구라서.
네.
So they've been back in StarCraft 1. Stats and I were friends.
그냥 같이 잘하면 좋겠다.
I don't view him as a rival.
네,
Just like a friend that I have to play against.
친구인 이 두 선수의 멋진
Just same thing
경기가
Stats
오늘 나올 것 같은데요. 자, 그럼 두 선수의 훈훈한 한마디씩 그럼 나눠보고 과연 한마디도 훈훈할지 지켜보도록 할까요? 먼저
Before we
주성
start the
선수
matches,
한마디
any words to
해주시죠.
each other? You first, Zest.
푸푸전이 이게 약간 기세 싸움이라서 은근히 3대2 이런 박빙의 스코어가 잘 안 나와가지고 오늘 좀
PvP is a lot more about mindset.
재밌는 경기 했으면 좋겠는데 꼭 서로 멋진 경기
I don't think it's going to be a 3-0
네.
or very one-sided Stats. Hopefully we just have some cool matches. What about you, Stats?
제가
Anything to
생각하는
Zest?
푸푸전 원탑 성욱이를 이렇게 만나게 돼가지고 오늘 경기들이 전체적으로 힘들 것 같은데
I think Zest is a
누가 이기든
PvP
간에
machine.
재밌는 경기 했으면 좋겠고
It's going to be a really tough series. Whoever wins, let's have a good time. But if it's okay with you, I hope to win, Zest.
말씀하셨어야죠. 이렇게 김대엽 선수와 주성 선수의 솔직한 이야기까지 들어봤는데요. 자, 과연 마지막 GSL 시즌 3 4강
That does it for our
진출자는 누가
interview.
될지 지금부터 시작하겠습니다.
Let's make them fight each other.
All right, that sounds good to me, Tasteless. Let's hope that this is a bit longer than the last one, but it's what Zest thinks is going to be a 3-0, so we'll see.
Okay, yeah, these are the two best Protoss players in Legacy of the Void.
Don't forget they're the Vimtims of Maru's 2 consecutive championships. Yeah, it's kind of funny because the next round, no matter what happens...
As my mother said, always take your Vimtims.
That's I heard that's the best place to get coffee in Canada, actually, Vimtims.
Vimtims?
Yeah.
Didn't know.
But either way, we get basically a round of 4 that was a previous finals, so... If it's a Maru Zest one, that's going to be especially interesting because remember that? It was like, we had the sickest videos ever. It was so hype.
Yeah.
And then Maru just
rolled him.
Bonked him. He hit him in the head with one of those clown hammers and it was over.
Yeah.
It was like the most one-sided finals since Inca Nest-T.
Yeah, it's really weird when we have this big setup to the finals, all this dramatic music and the stage, and then we're like, oh, we're already done.
Yeah.
Looks like everybody in Africa starts drinking a little bit sooner than we expected to.
Yeah, so Zest here comes in rank 5 in WCS standings. The top 4 players are already locked for BlizzCon.
Right.
If he wins today, I'm almost completely certain that he is locked for BlizzCon as well. And it seems very likely that he is going to make it. Like a lot of things would have to go poorly otherwise. And Stats is actually already locked. He is one of the players. It's like classic Stats, Rogue, and Maru are all 100% going to BlizzCon.
Okay,
So.
this is going to be so fun. I do feel like Stats is a little bit better right now. I know that Zest, some people might say that's crazy because Zest, get to a finals of a GSL. But I think when I look at Stats play overall, I feel like he does seem to have a better understanding. And I feel like Zest is really good at what he does. He seems to still have a little bit of an older approach. Maybe that's because he was so dominant in the early parts of Legacy of the Void. I don't know. Also, of course, these guys are friends in a mirror matchup where you 2 players know each other and have known each other for a long time. It's kind of weird, what's going to happen. There are mind games we might not even be able to see or follow here.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
That's where sometimes you have games that are really weird and don't make a lot of sense, and we have to chalk that up to, okay, they just kind of, they have so much information. They almost have too much information on each other, and they're doing
and especially in
gamble
PvP,
stuff.
right? Yeah, you have to take a little gamble on a PvP.
Yeah. Okay, sick. Our game's loaded up. Guys, this is game 1, Zest versus Stats.
Fight.
We begin on Acid Plant, a former GSL finalist from last season.
Zest.
Maru's most recent Vimtim.
You're so funny.
His Vimtim from before that. Bottom right.
Splice. Stats.
It's always bouncing.
Yeah,
Stats is always bouncing in his chair before.
He's just a happy guy.
Yeah. It's getting the blood flowing.
It's happy you are, the more likely you are to bounce, I think.
Makes sense.
Yep.
So we got 2 gates coming down here for Stats.
Yeah, we'll see that for Zest as well. Or not. Wow.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
When you go 1 gate, it's actually super rare to see 1 gate openers. Because you don't have the map at that point. You instantly, your opponent controls the map. And 1 gate openers, I don't think I've ever seen a 1 gate opener that wasn't a Stargate opener too.
Yeah.
This is like, you basically have to sit back very defensively, making stalkers on 1 gate and go into Stargate. That's like, I've never seen anything else off 1, so let's see if Zest...
I think your read is right on that, Artosis.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Stargate now inside the main for Zest. We have the probe coming up here for Stats. Does get inside the base scene. It is 2 gateways up here. And this should be basically a full scout. I mean, assuming Zest wants to do that, yeah. Okay, so he's going to move his probe all the way through here and basically see exactly what is and is not there. Especially if he goes up all the way to the top, you'll see the pylons up there. Know that, all right, there's nothing hidden on the map at all.
He's going to keep this in here as long as possible. He really wants to see if there's going to be a counter Stargate. Now, Zest at home is making a robo, and that is something you're obviously kind of going to need to do with this. Otherwise, it's a little bit risky, right? Because, for instance, Stats sees this and just knows, oh, I love that hat. That's an amazing hat. Basically says non-Korean on it.
Yeah.
Foreigner. Anyways, I'm interested that he's using this strategy. He's already got his shield battery up and ready. Just making some Phoenixes. Phoenix is obviously going to be a great harassment tool, great scouting tool, all sorts of things. And he can go into Immortals from here and have an observer and just be very, very safe.
So this is a really kind of offshoot game here. Just kind of fun. See that Phoenix coming in now. By the way, it's going to be an Oracle. He pulls that away immediately, as well as the second Phoenix.
Yeah.
Bringing them back.
And that's interesting
Nothing
as well.
From that robo yet.
The fact that Stats is making an Oracle. This is a very tricky play from him because I think he knew from the get-go that this was going to be exactly what it is.
It's going to work. Okay.
Watching Rotterdam play PvP right now.
That's right.
Just
Rotterdam is warped into his body.
Yeah. Like, Warp Gate, you don't need that. That was the big mistake here for Zest. Okay, so the Oracle is an interesting part of this.
Well, the Oracle could end up where Zest thinks he's in a good spot. It would never anticipate an Oracle to come in. And even though Phoenixes counter Oracles, Phoenixes have to be in the right position to do that.
Yeah, people have gotten so good at PvP at this point that you can actually make Oracles against Phoenix and count on them doing some damage.
Yeah.
Because, like, see, he knows that eventually this is going to come in here, and he just hits at the same time it comes in, so he knows the Phoenixes aren't home. And so Stats gets way more damage. This is like a very high-level move that, like, for instance, we saw stuff like this out of maybe Hero and SOS last year. But this is the first time, I think, that we've seen someone like Stats utilize this play, which means it's, like, very much more understood at this point. I like it. I feel like this is almost an important moment for PvP evolution.
You're totally right, though. It does show how developed and complex the matchup is, where you know exactly, first of all, you know that they're most likely going to discount that Oracle coming in, but you know when they're going to take the units back out of their base.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot more ambiguity to a matchup that already can go in so many different directions, you know?
Yeah. And it's like you're making a Nexus as Stats, right? Way before Zest. So, like, you look at this and you say, I know he has to come over with his Phoenixes. He just must. And so I can make an Oracle against that and go Blink off of one Oracle. Like, to make a Stargate against someone you know is going Phoenixes and make an Oracle is, like, at one point in PvP would have been just dumb because people might not even know what to do with their Phoenixes. The Phoenix just catch the Oracle and he's like, wow, I'm really ahead. Instead, he gets like 8 kills. You know, it's crazy.
Okay, so he's found that hidden Oracle down there. That's been taken out.
Yeah, so still, it did so much more than the Phoenixes have so far.
What is the Immortal count right now for Zest, excuse me?
I believe this is his second coming out.
Okay. So we know he obviously has an Observer mate that's moving around over here. By the way, Blink on the way here for Stats.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice for all these Stalkers he's already gotten here.
Yeah, so it looks like that is the second that just popped. And he can sit back and play very defensively in this manner. But Stats having the quicker Nexus, having you know, the better worker count and all, and getting this Forge up. Oh, he's actually adding 2 gases right now. Okay. I don't think it's like a giant deal, but I was going to say, I feel like in this type of game, you want to take your 3rd Nexus pretty quickly because the Immortal player can't come out too quickly against you because you're very, very mobile, and he doesn't have a lot of units. So in a situation like that where you've got the quicker bases and more probes, I feel like it's really super appropriate, and you have Blink, to just go into like a huge gateway style. You can't catch up in the Immortal count. It's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So go into that massive, massive gateway
It's like
style.
this whole idea of like create a different kind of race, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the races in the game. I mean, like, if you're both racing towards one point and the other guy has the lead, well, assuming that your opponent's actually good, you're never going to catch up, you know? Or in this case, it's like, all right, well, if you can't beat him in this game, play him in another game.
Yeah.
Try to play around the advantage that this person's earned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like, by the way, how you have to be like, I don't mean another race, I mean a race within the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know someone's like, yeah, I want the Zell Naga to be a race too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no,
that's not.
We don't want to ruin
mean.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
You might want to ruin StarCraft. We don't want that.
Yeah. No, it's all about playing around, you know, what you have to deal with. Sometimes you want to directly confront what they're doing. Other times it's like try to outmaneuver it. You know, you can have all the Immortals in the world. If you have an insane arc or just a ton of Stalkers with the depths blinking and shading in, suddenly all the Immortals are dead immediately. And even though Immortals are supposed to counter Stalkers specifically.
Yeah. Well, you know, Stats does have his Glaives finishing up here as well as +1. He's getting a third Nexus. He's getting his Warp Prism. I don't know if you can kill Zest here, though. Like,
well, I mean, Zest needs to take a third, I think, before you could ever attack in, right? I mean, if you just try to hit him on 2 bases, and Zest has not done that yet.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we're kind of in agreement here. Like, if you attack here on the 2 bases, there's a chance that Zest just straight holds. And if you don't attack him, then you're sitting on a depth tech, and as the supplies get higher, that gets weaker, and Zest's army continually is getting stronger because he's making so many Immortals. So it feels like Stats has made a situation where he must get damage done. Even though he's taking a third, he's spent all of his money on these Adepts, so the Adepts have to do something.
I think you're right. Okay, hold on, here we go. The shade forward. The Stalkers, are they going to blink on top?
He better have a wall there. Okay, he does.
Oh, God.
And look at this. He's got the 3 shield batteries. I am liking Zest's position.
Well, Zest just needs to wait this out.
Yeah.
You do make a good point. If you keep getting more of these Archons and Immortals coming up here, eventually this does end up losing. You know, Adepts don't give you a lot of equity.
Yeah. Like, the more Immortals and Archons you make, the stronger your army becomes. And as far as Adepts and Stalkers, both units lose power throughout a PvP when the supplies get bigger. So Stats is now backing up, and yes, he's got a much bigger army, but eventually you're both going to be near maxed, and not everything's going to fire at once, and like the battles are going to become a lot closer. Zest is on top of his upgrades, he's on top of his unit composition.
Okay, so Zest is going to move out now, it appears. Is this a little bit too soon?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think that this is not the appropriate move out time.
Yeah, I thought he was going to wait actually a little bit longer, but he said he is going to try to come out, and he's actually taking probes.
He's expecting a base trade.
Wow, okay.
It can't be anything else to bring the probes.
What Marine King Prime did.
He's pulling the boys.
He's pulling the boys.
He's pulling the bots.
Okay, here we go.
That is, I don't know about this, Tasteless.
I feel like
you don't have to fear this third that much.
Painted himself into a corner here. Okay, here we go. Okay, by the way, Stats' Archons are actually in a pretty decent spot. Do some damage, nice juggling over here. A lot of this is going to come down to the Warp Prism control here on both sides, keeping those Archons alive for as long as possible. One Archon goes down, blinking in here on top. There are too many Adepts, too many Stalkers, too many everything Stats. And he is going to win this fight, and I think just win the game. Yeah, GG. So, I don't know why Zest did that.
Yeah, no, it was a poor attack. You're playing against a guy who is making all of these units that will not have value long term. If Zest simply sits there, right, he defended perfectly against it. His Stats literally had to turn around. Now, it's not going to be an easy victory still, right? Like, Stats has his third base up and mining before you start yours, but you can go start yours. You know, you can continually build your composition better. And in fact, I was expecting that, and I was thinking, okay, now how does Stats play? Maybe he goes into Disruptors from here, for instance. Right? Maybe he starts...
Well, I thought you had to do something else. It's just so strange. I feel like that was a real strategic decision there by Zest.
Yeah, that
attack, that just is not what you're supposed to do.
Your opponent's going to surround you. We were talking about specifically this and why it's like, if Zest is making a better long-term army, you don't come out and attack the army that Stats felt like he had to do damage with. He couldn't do damage with. He backed up. and then you walk out into him.
Game 2's ready. Let's go right now. Stats with a 1-0 lead in this best of 5 versus Zest.
Zest.
Yeah, that was just like, man, I swear to God, if you just both max out and Stats as a 4th base, but you only have 3 bases at that point, but you have like 7 Immortals, he's fighting you with a Depth Stalker.
Splice. Stats.
I gotta tell you, Tasus, I think you're winning with your Immortal Archon army against a Depth Stalker.
Yeah, well, you've
at max supplies.
You've done. That's the whole reason why that's the standard safe route to play, is because that gets you to a healthier spot in the late game. But it almost seems like Zest, he almost kind of freaked out there. Pulled his whole army, got, oh God, you've got a 3rd base too. It's like, yeah, I mean, well, you could take a 3rd base while you're doing that.
Because there's no way on open ground you're going to beat that much more army supply. Like, you have this temporary advantage as Stats in this situation. And he played exactly into it. It was such an anti-timing. It's like insane to me that basically the Protoss, who is most accomplished in StarCraft 2, right? He has 2 GSL championships. He's been to the finals another time. He has some other tournament wins. Arguably one of the most accomplished ever, if not the most. Makes a choice like that. I don't know. It's.
Well, let's see how the other games go.
Yeah. Everyone makes mistakes.
I mean, yes, it is true. Like sometimes, uh-oh. Is that a probe down in the middle of the map? Am I seeing that correctly? Is he going to hide something? I think he is.
Yeah. Should be a Stargate, I would imagine.
A little bit of a gamble.
Possibly. Depths on both sides.
Now, I will say, even though it's not, you're not exactly a straight shooter making a hidden Stargate out in the middle of the map, it's not like this is unpredictable.
No.
Right? I mean, this is
pretty common.
Gamble. All right. What's up?
You really like that gamble thing.
It cracks me up. I think it's you and your voice. And
yeah.
It's just so funny to me.
This is who I am.
It's just the way that you talk about certain things just great. Just tickles me, man.
Yeah.
What? So we have Adepts continuously being made here while there is a hidden Stargate out here. Stats is going to show his 2 Adepts over here in the front, which may draw some. Hold on.
It seems like he might be scouting it.
Yes, he is.
Well.
And he does not even show the Stargate the Adepts.
He wants to wait until this finishes. And there it finishes. But this could end up being a mistake. Where are the units of Stats?
Supply.
Oh, they're pretty far out.
Supply. He's going to try and take this out. And there is...
Well, if you're not attacking the pylon with everything.
Yeah, I think it's... Is it going to get out?
I think it's going to barely get out.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't.
Wait. Oh, no.
Wow,
Denied.
Surprised by that chrono. That was pretty obvious that I was not getting out at that point when they had 1 volley left.
We talked about mistakes being made in game 1. Definitely a big miscalculation here by Stats.
Now, this could be a game where you send the probe out to make the pylon again.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe. Like, if he actually brings all of his units over here, then he can force away the Adepts, and it's so close to being finished. But I guess there's actually a Phoenix on the way from Zest. Yeah, see, there it goes.
Okay, it went around him.
Yeah, the Phoenix is going to be countering that pretty reasonably.
All right. So that pylon is going to be made down here at the bottom in what has already become an insanely weird game.
Those Adepts that we just saw, they were walking forward and their shades came back and then they were walking backwards.
Yeah.
That was like that old music video with the guys on the treadmills.
I know exactly.
It was exactly like that. Oh my God. Someone needs to recreate old YouTube videos with StarCraft units. That would be amazing. I'd subscribe to that immediately.
All right, here we go. It's out. Oh, get wrecked.
Yeah.
Go trying to do a little bit of gamble.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. This has honestly been one of the bumpiest, wonkiest PvPs I've seen. And that's crazy because it is Zest and Stats here.
I think that's actually why.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of mind games, a lot of different things going on that can be a little bit hard to appreciate. Whereas if like these guys were two players playing on barcodes on the ladder and they don't know, right? It's probably going to be these very direct, decisive games.
Yeah, they're both trying to really play around a conventional PvP to the point where this is almost a game where it's going to be hard to learn from. For those of you guys that watch GSL to really just like, you know, snag builds and you know, bring them back to your own game. It's like, this is sort of not how PvP goes a lot of the time, but
yeah, some days are better than others for that. And I don't know about this one. Oh my God, he has a probe not mining on gas.
That's bad. They're up to the Phoenixes here for Zest. Now Stats already has some stalkers here to drive this away.
He's going into Blink. Don't know exactly how many stalkers he's actually going to end up making. Forge is finishing up here. Zest a little bit quicker on that.
Oh, the Adepts get in.
Oh, this is so sick.
Oh my God, these two Adepts.
Yeah.
Actually doing a lot of damage. Really nicely done.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. 5 kills. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so yeah, let's take a zoom out here. What's actually been lost? Bumpy game here for Stats.
Yeah, Zest definitely getting upper end.
Zest looking good. But let's also remember, Zest played more conventionally and got to a good spot, and then Stats tried to do this time and attack, it didn't work, and then it's almost like Zest freaked out, ran out of his base.
Epic throw.
Zest actually lit his hair on fire, is like what happened in game 1. And I don't mean like to reference the, oh my God, my hair's on fire freak out. It's like he lit his hair on fire himself and then went, oh my God, my hair's on fire.
Well, he went to use hairspray, and I'm like, don't do it! This is rack shear!
So Blink's on the way. We have the third Nexus. Starting out for Zest, the Stats is actually taking a third base of his own, getting 4 more gates up.
Yeah, and okay, so Blink is finished up, the upgrade's still going. Slightly faster Temple Archives here for Stats. I want to see what the Immortal count is looking like right now. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so I think Immortal production just started for Stats, if I'm not mistaken. So we should be up 1 to 2 Immortals, probably non-stop for Zest here until a battle occurs. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
for Zest.
I really want 5 games today. That TVT was way too short.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just now warmed up.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes me a while to be fully booted up in a cast and good to go, you know?
Well, when game 1's like reasonably quick and then it's followed by a double proxy racks and the game ends instantly, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. And then game 3 was the weird tech. I'm like, okay, hold on.
Like, oh, this is something I've never seen before.
That was my caster throat clearing. I'm not actually even here yet, so.
Toads.
The goats. We got some Archons that are going to come in here. War Prism's out as well. Zest can try to push out if he wants to.
Yeah, going into very similar unit compositions. Now, I guess one of the interesting things is the Immortal count started earlier for Zest here. He just kind of had a little bit of an early lead, right? He killed the Oracle, he flew around a little bit, he caught, you know, the proxy Stargate pretty early on. And Stats went into Blink, which is not necessarily bad. Like, look how he stopped on 4 Stalkers. Or, well, I guess he has 3 in the main. But it's not like he has a giant amount of Stalkers like we saw in Game 1, where he was almost forced to try to get aggressive with them. If you have too many Stalkers, eventually you're like, well, this is becoming dead supply. But this is an okay amount. This can definitely be very useful during a battle. You can target down Archons reasonably quickly.
Yeah.
If the battle gets to small amounts of units, they're very microable. But right now, Zest has a pretty significant supply advantage.
Yeah, this is a fairly open area here.
He's going to have to pull back into his shield batteries, I think.
Yeah, he might have to try to hug his natural expansion here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hold on. The War Prism's going to come up here. Oh, this is so good, because the Immortals can actually fight the Stalkers.
Yeah, they
even with Blink, the Stalkers are like, oh god, running back.
They were trying to like zone in such a way that they might be able to blink forward and get the Prism or something.
He's going for it. He's going for it here.
Oh boy. All right, let's see it. Zest coming up. He's actually down in probes at the moment, but pushing forward, going for the kill.
Oh, looks like 2 of these Archons for Stats do go down.
Don't worry, a hallucinated Phoenix is trying to take out that Warp Prism. Yeah, this is a pretty one-sided one.
Seems like he just busted him down.
Yeah, the two Phoenix lifts as well, and those two Immortals just absolutely awesome. And Zest crushes through stats in game 2.
I like it. But that early game, look, Zest like swishing around some scope in his mouth, swallows it.
Oh, you don't swallow that stuff.
No, do not swallow that. But that's what it looked like he was doing.
Yeah.
That was a weird opening there for stats. I mean, he
Proxy Stargate,
losing the pylon, and then he remade the pylon, and then the Oracle got killed, and it's just.
The thing is, if they don't make Phoenixes, then I guess you kind of really want to get out your Oracle, right? It's just a useful unit to have, the tagging, the scouting, everything. But he got reasonably far behind. The Adepts from Zest got into his base, got 5 probes. You know, from there, Zest just played a very normal game, right? He went up into his Forge upgrades, he made lots of Immortals, got Charge, Archons, and went after 3 bases, and just rolled through stats. I wish that he would have shown a little bit more like that in game 1, too, though. It's kind of weird.
Well, let's see what they do on game 3. Our game's, our game just loaded up. Let's go. Zest for stats on Blue Shift.
Fight.
Much better in that last game.
Zest.
Proxy Stargate not working for this man.
Splice. Stats.
Oh my god, I almost choked on my water.
I'm going to give a little
You're
facts.
so good at these intros. I mean,
little facts about him. Like, it's just something totally that doesn't mean anything. I'm like, standing at 6'1", that's 185 centimeters. Splice stats.
Over here, 6'1", soaking wet.
Soaking wet.
Okay, probe coming out right now for stats. And yeah, probe coming out here for Zest.
Whoa.
We're gonna have the probe high five. There it is.
But really, it would sound more like scraping metal, right?
Yeah,
it would be. Probes. Huh. Oh!
That was crazy. Wait, did he see it? Did he see it?
I think he barely did not.
Oh. Wow. I was about to talk about how this game might be a little bit more standard, but you know, with that hidden probe,
yeah,
maybe not so much, boys and girls.
I think we're going to see another Proxy Stargate.
Let's see. Shine, show us where it's going to be. And you can see, by the way, stats is still, or Zest rather, is still scouting around inside here. You can try to count pylons doing this, and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and
you know, and
it's a lot of times you don't make yourself rely on the proxy pylon when there's a probe in your base. But something I find just slightly interesting is like he did full probe saturation on his gas right away, which is totally fine. But you know, you look at that and you say, oh, maybe he's teching up, and there could be a probe out in the map.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to actually count probes or SCVs or drones in StarCraft 2 because there's 2 per patch early on, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a Proxy Stargate coming up.
Oh, look at this. Zest is checking for proxies, but he's going in the wrong direction. I mean, it's tough, right? You do have to make a decision. I mean, are you going to go up or are you going to go down? Now, this probe's coming out here.
It's going up and
good.
down.
He sent.
Oh, I guess not.
Wow. It's like he's scouting everywhere except for this location.
And he actually goes by a watchtower that a probe had there.
Yeah. Well, Zest
yeah.
apparently has his own plans here.
Look at this. He leaves the watchtower now. Sees the probe leaving. He's like, why is a probe up there?
Again, guys, if you're just now joining us, we're tied up 1-1, but Zest and Stats have such a history together that these games are looking really weird. They're both trying to, like, play a 4-dimensional poker underwater chess right now.
Yes, while boxing.
While boxing, yes.
This It's looking good for Zest, I think, Tasteless, because I believe... Oh, okay, he's waiting for 2 oracles. Wow. That's really smart, because I'm pretty sure he made a battery, battery right in his mineral line. Now, this could get a little bit funny, because
whoa. He accidentally locked himself out with his own battery.
Yeah,
he needs to remake it.
He doesn't have a battery right now. The oracles are going to kill, like, every probe.
Okay.
But... What? He's just letting the adepts in? He's like, yeah, I want you to kill some of my probes.
Okay, he's going to finally kill off one. All right, but here we go.
This is the moment you can run in. Run in!
Stalkers at the
There's
front.
No units there. They're chasing your adepts.
Here we
Go
go.
the ramp.
Gamble.
Oh, my God. And he actually just insta-recalls. Okay.
What a weird game.
I think that the recall was actually okay because Zest kind of killed the same amount of probes. I don't think his adepts are the most important thing. But yeah, he's gonna eliminate the Stargate, it looks like. He has the Prism, so he can kind of come over and force his way in once again.
Okay, yeah.
Like his tech overall, like Stargates are having a couple oracles is really fantastic. But in a heads-up battle with the Prism, you should be able to take that, right? It's just kind of... Your micro potential is so big.
Well, there goes the Stargate now. But these oracles are still out. And anytime you're trying to show anything out on the map, you're saying, well, I might not have that much back home. Now he sees that there's no Nexus here. Again, neither side's really expanded yet. We've gotten to one of these weird games where neither side could expand right away, or you would have been at risk of being abused by the other player's strategy. Stats slow crawling onto the ground here. Think about
slow crawling onto the ground.
Yeah, it's like, you see him make a pylon down there. I always call that slow crawling in my brain. Seriously, I'm like, oh, you're going to try to slowly get down there.
He's slow
putting one foot in the water, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You only got your ankles in there.
He's got to get used to the temperature of the sand.
Exactly. He doesn't just jump in.
Yeah.
So, he's coming up over here. He can start to chisel away at these gates.
Yeah, this is a really good push.
I do see the oracles are moving out again. He still has those 4 stalkers in his main, right?
Yeah, he has some stalkers at home.
That's too bad he didn't deny that a little bit more quickly.
Ooh, look at this.
I wish those stalkers would stop moving in the main.
Yeah, I wish he'd
That's
just...
hurting my eyeballs.
It's not aesthetically pleasing. Now, he's getting the Nexus. That's where it's really good. But as stats, you still have a couple of really good things going for you. You have the Oracles, and your opponent is just on Stalkers and a Robo, which means Immortal drops become very, 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 very strong. If he wants to try...
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's going to lay some traps back here.
Oh, that's smart.
So that if Zest is walking back home, it could be punished.
Yeah.
Wow, and look, he's not even...
He has no idea.
He's not even thinking about this.
He has no idea, Texas.
Beautifully done. Now, there's going to be enough time,
painful.
I believe, for Stats to try to close in on this.
Yeah, he's coming right up immediately. Force fields might be able to buy him enough time, though.
Yeah, what force fields? Here we go. He's coming in now. Okay.
Yeah.
He's slowly doing it. I don't know. I think he can actually shoot down the Warp Prism here with these Stalkers if he gets close enough. There is an Immortal out here for Zest.
Well, there's a lot of Stalkers here. The Immortals, of course, doing some heavy lifting for Stats. Zest going to back up the ramp. He has 2 more force field robots.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's actually kind of tricky to juggle this away.
Yeah.
You have this many Stalkers out.
Whoa! Okay.
Army supply is 30 to 35, so I mean fairly even.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stats can really advance on this position that Zest has.
By the way, we're seeing Glaives again. Trap set this old style back in. It's funny too because Trap just kept going Glaives and then just didn't make it out of the group. Just Glaives. Every game he's like, no, this is good, trust me. And the thing is, I believe it. Like, there's some very sharp attacks you can do and like force your way into victories sometimes. But it's just kind of funny to see, right? Because it turned into just a charge meta for so long. But I like the call by Zest. He's looking at this saying, oh God, you just started your Nexus. He's just going to have so much more economy. The overwhelming move of Mass Adepts seems likely to be able to break him, but Stats is actually going into Disruptor tech.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, against Adepts, it even could be Colossus. I don't think that'll be the case.
Well, it's going to be really interesting if it is Disruptor tech. I think one of the things about the glaives is it's like this upgrade that allows you to try to eke out a lead in a very specific amount of time, especially when other players are trying to tech or expand, and gives you just a lot of power.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, Adepts in general, they're not ideal units later on. I mean, eventually everything's kind of better than them in the long run. So let's see.
Well, the first Disruptor is about to come out. He already made a couple shield batteries, I think, defensively here. Ooh, this is a great location to go with your army.
Laying some traps back over here.
It can go the long way. This is going to buy enough time. He's going to have 2 Disruptors when Zest actually hits now, just because he walked up to this location.
He also had his Oracles laid 2 traps just left. They're there. Can you imagine?
That would have been crazy.
Whoa! Okay, now with the Warp Prism here, he can pick that Disruptor up and run away. He needs the cover over here. The rest of this.
Oh, beautiful micro there by Zest.
Okay, he comes in, takes out a lot of those Stalkers. These Disruptors still a factor in this game.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Look at how many Adepts right now are frozen.
This is so crazy.
Now, do you time out a Disruption ball
That's what I was wondering.
I need to see it.
Please.
One time. Another Shaden does get frozen. Oh my God.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, these stasis wards have been insane from stats.
It's smart too, because it's just the way people behave when they try to maneuver with Disruptors, with Adepts.
Yeah, it's kind of predictable in that way.
Thing is, I mean, does Zest still have enough to maybe break through? Oh my God, beautifully done.
Well, he's still trying it. It looks like the shield batteries are out of energy at this point. The 2 Immortals definitely doing a lot of work for Zest.
He's trying to use batteries that are on his high ground now. Again, juggling with the Warp Prism. Oracle activated again here. And I think he's actually done it. It's just the 2 Immortals left, and Zest retreats.
Okay, but Zest has Immortals, and he's playing against Disruptors. It's still doable, I would say.
You know, if he wants... okay, I thought he was just going to try to drop, but he's going to try to shade these Adepts over here since there is a blind spot inside the main. Ooh, okay. Trying to advance over here. He could try to get a position over where the Robo is.
Ooh.
But once the Disruptor comes in over here...
These Disruptor shots have been so good.
Well, that's the whole thing about Disruptors is you can get such value out of them, especially against units like Adepts that are going to clump up.
Yeah.
And just get...
They're just amazing against Adepts.
Yeah. It's like
not
the
like
unit to get against an Adept. Now, he's going to try some Disruptor shot drops of his own. Excuse me.
Yeah. I mean,
it's fine. It is what it is. He takes out the shields on that Immortal.
yeah.
Takes some of that energy out the battery. It's something, I guess.
Gets a Stalker. It's like, okay. I mean, Disruptor drops can be very good. They definitely can get some damage done. Oh my God, that would have been...
Away.
Pick up the Stalkers. Oh, here we go, here we go. Oh my gosh. He wants it so bad.
He's trying.
He knows that can't hit, but he still does it.
Does the Warp Prism have to just keep going down to the right? I think it does.
It'll go over something and then recall is the way you should do it.
Oh, yes, it's good.
Protoss players frustrating each other with recall for once.
Looks like the Immortal Drop's going to come back in again, though. So we're about 13 minutes in. Nobody's even been able to take a third base.
Well, this is
so action-packed.
This is a super cool game, too. The fact that both sides are just kind of sitting around making Adepts and trying to drop each other.
Yeah.
And it is such a strange game, right? Because if you don't have a Stargate and you don't have Blink, these types of drops can just kind of go on and on and on.
It's funny because you'll see the Adepts and Zealots come out, and that's like enough to make the Immortal pick up. But you're right, there is nothing that can hit the Warp Prism for the time being. So Zest can kind of freely roam around over here.
Last thing you want to do is make Stalkers without Blink against someone who's just making Immortals nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this, 4 Immortals versus 4 Disruptors. This is going to be one of those special games where we just are like, which unit's better? By the way, I think he's going into his own Disruptor tech here. Second Robo. Disruptor tech on the way.
Well, if you look at it, he's actually forced him to make a lot of Zealots at the depths of his own, so it kind of makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, he's picking off those Stalkers that did get made. Oh, pick him up! Whew. He was so low.
Wow, they are both crazy low right there.
Yeah, they're red as can be. Couple lobster immortals right there.
Damn right, or
can't
some
lobsters
Christmas
live like
immortals, if you will.
100 years or something?
Lobsters?
They live a long time.
100 years? Is that true?
I think they live a really long time. Yeah. You see what I see? Oh, look at this.
Look how funny this looks.
He's trying so hard right now. Wow, he really wants to go to the next round, doesn't he, Tasis?
Okay, Stats is moving in.
Yeah, he's Zest is getting blink right now, so if he can live for a little bit, this could work out well. Disruptor
just out of
is
range.
Truly an enemy of itself.
The Disruptor no man's land has basically been created here. He's going to try to chuck a few more in here. Not bad. Takes out the Stalkers. Is that actually enough for Stats? It might be.
Yeah.
One Disruptor alone's not going to cut it.
Oh, well, that... you say that and then he blows up 3 Disruptors with it, but yeah, there's hardly any units left here. But if they're Disruptors, maybe it's enough. No.
What a game.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
So it looks like Stats is going to take this one as he finally pushes through. 15-minute 2-base game PvP. They're both harassing each other the entire time.
Yeah, this was an awesome game.
Yeah. GG.
All right.
Stats takes it. He's in the lead 2-1.
Yeah. And Stats has to be feeling good about that, obviously. But they seem to be such a good match for each other. I think we might get that. We could get that game 5. What do you think, Tasis?
I like what Zest has been trying to do. I do get the feeling that Stats is just a little bit better.
Well, I loved his counter of getting into the Disruptors, and all those stasis wards were insane. Like the ones catching Zest trying to retreat, and then the ones that just kept catching mass adept Shadens. If he hadn't had those, I think Zest kills him.
Yeah, well that and also the bumpy game in game 2. I'm feeling this for Stats. Guys, we are going to go to a short break. When we come back, game 4, Zest versus Stats.
This place, a palace of light drawn with shade, of silence and pretense, a token of our trade. And here, you and I lie wreathed in flames, all over a life lived by making up new games of gazes and whispers. I want you to know I still love you, even though we've been dancing on broken glass. Parade all your memories, for the moments we shared never fade away. I want you to know I still love you when I walk down the memory lane. When the night swears its love to the stars, there will be no more tears today. Hey, hey. We shared a penchant for cyanide praise, fashioned our armors of empathy's malaise. And all of that hurt and all of those words that we said, you think we poisoned the ground on which we tread. But the lining is silver. I want you to know I still love you, even though we've been dancing on broken glass. Parade all your memories, for the moments we share never fade away. I want you to know I still love you when I walk down the memory lane. When the night swears its love to the stars, there will be no more tears today. Hey, hey. The best of intentions will not see
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
(2018) GSL Season 3. This is Rockshear.
That's right. In the lava-themed Code S GSL season, we've had some crazy games. We're about to get that last player to go on to the Final Four. Stats right now with a 2-1 lead against Zest.
Yeah.
But I think it's totally realistic that Zest could turn this around. He is a great player.
It's close so far. It seems like overall Stats has had some very cool moves. Like those wards that game, man, into the disruptors.
They were pretty sick.
There was just some really neat stuff going on there to stop that mass adept play.
Yeah.
It's funny to see how much these guys are using mass adepts and how much it's just not doing anything every time.
It's funny, right?
Whether it be Trap in the previous round or these guys here, whoever attacks with the adepts first has actually just not been doing any damage with them. Stats did win that one game, but it's only because Zest moved out into him. But
yeah.
Anyways, Catalyst, map 4.
That's right. Our game is just now loading up.
Another proxy Stargate for Stats, do you think?
I don't know, man. Maybe. Let's find out. We're ready to go, guys. This is Zest versus Stats.
Fight. Zest.
Hasn't looked bad today. A couple mistakes here and there. Some mind games, I think, in there as well. Hard for us to detect.
Splice. Stats.
It's kind of interesting to watch Stats kind of evolve as a PvP player. There's once upon a time he was still one of the best Protoss on Earth, but it seemed like his PvP was a bit behind everyone else's for the top Protosses.
Well, it seemed like he was too cut and dry.
Yeah.
In some ways, he was like trying to play the clean, correct way, and I feel like Protoss versus Protoss since like the early days of StarCraft, you've had to be a guy who can take risks, who can bluff, who can lie.
Do a little gamble,
as one would say.
Yeah.
And I think that he's shown that he can do that as well. I mean, Stats is someone who is still blossoming into a better and better player.
Yeah, he is one of these never-endingly improving players, which is really the way you want to be for longevity.
Now, Zest is also kind of an interesting story as well because he really came out strong in Legacy of the Void, right? It feels like people have caught up a little bit.
Certainly.
You know, and for a period, it looked like Zest was going to continue to ride this train and maybe become like where Maru is now, right?
Yeah.
Where he came out strong. He seems to just be working on covering all of his bases and is going to be this all-around solid player who actually could win, you know, half or a little bit under half of all the tournaments. Kind of like where Rogue is now or Maru is now. But
it did seem like that.
It seems like Zest is a guy who is, when you give him new toys, new tools to play with in the game, he can come up with the best strategies first. But Stats is somebody that if you leave him around for long enough, he's going to come up with a better answer.
Yeah.
And that seems like what some of our games have gone with today. I mean, the game that Stats lost in Game 2, there were so many things that went wrong early on for Stats. He was still looking pretty okay, but there was a lot of moments he got tripped up in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
Like losing that pylon when the Oracle was about 2 seconds out from coming.
Certainly the case. And That's kind of interesting the way that you describe it there too. Because I guess both these guys have spent time as the best Protoss in the world.
Yeah.
But I think not many people would argue that Stats is the best Protoss in the world still right now. Even though, like, the last finals, yeah, Zest was in it, Stats wasn't.
Really?
Stats was in the finals before that.
I always felt like Stats has been the best, like, off and on for a while.
Yeah, no, I just said that.
Yeah.
No, we agree.
Okay, no, but I guess you're saying some other people wouldn't think that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying some people would maybe, someone might be able to try to argue Classic, but I think it's a little bit different. Anyways, both of them have been the best at some point, right? And it seems like just the way that they play, Zest is way more flashy, and like Zest top tier, best form, best games are like so insane, whereas Stats is just consistently solid.
By the way, these adepts of Zest coming over here and hitting Stats, now trying to run away, blocking off some of these over here at the pass, so they can maybe shade in a little bit further. But there is a nice block, and now these adepts are basically isolated down here.
Yeah, he's going to have some trouble here because he is going up against that 3-gate robo play. So for instance, that Nexus has 0 chance of being alive at the end of this push.
Right.
He's just making Immortals, and he probably needs like a shield battery up here, a second pylon powering those gates. 100% he needs that. He's trying to keep Stats back as long as possible with these adepts. See if he can maybe sneak in. If he can sneak in, that's where you might just win the game.
Oh, so sick.
Look at me. I'm going to StarCraft. I'm going to StarCraft.
I'm better than you. I'm better than you now. I'm better than you now.
All right,
damn.
So,
well, this is just
huge amounts of damage.
Feels bad, man.
I'm surprised he was standing on that ramp. But,
whoa, did you just see that Stalker slide forward like that?
Look at the probe kills. Oh, my gosh. 10. And that's where it's going to end. But 10 kills is insanity. He is trying so hard to keep this Nexus alive. He might be able to do it. What? Well, I guess, you know, Stats actually never made a Sentry of his own here. That definitely could have been helpful. Looks like he's making some now. I think he knows that he has to get the Nexus. Like, not only does he have to get the Nexus, I think he needs to get Zest up the ramp as well.
So crazy, man.
Wow.
23 to 15 as far as workers go.
Wow, that's so different.
Yeah.
Some people might look at that and say, but it's only 7. Oh my gosh, Tasteless, it's so many though.
That's a lot.
Sometimes 7 is a really big number. Like Tasteless, if I ask you like how old you are and you say you're 7, I'm like, well, that's not very old. But if I ask you how many planets you've destroyed and you say 7, I'm like, damn, Tasteless. Whoa! You're crazy, Tasteless. Right?
Exactly.
It just matters.
Like in this case, 7 probes is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas it's an hour long. It's an hour long PVZ. How many probes you lost? 7? No, that's not so much.
Oh God. I have tears in my eyes. My sides are. It's true though, man. It's a lot.
True.
It's a lot.
It's just, it matters what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the beauty of language.
Zest is trying to come out on the map here. He's got his Immortal moving down. Actually, he might be able to wedge that in front of the Stalkers. That was so perfect what you said. You're so funny. Okay, so we can cut these off at the pass here, which means Zest is oh.
I love the amount of Warp Prism Immortal play that we're seeing today. Because it's so powerful in these situations. Just like, they don't die.
Yeah. Wow. He gets exactly 2 more back here. That with the battery is not going to be enough. Well, excuse me, the Warp Prism will not be enough to fight that. And you notice Zest sent the rest of his army back when he saw there was no Nexus. You know, when these two guys play, it's very hard for either of them to actually get another base up.
Yeah, their micros both very, very good. He's going to be able to probably get this. No, not quite. Forced back. Nexus has started here for Zest, so that's a very important thing to look at. Stat's going to have to get that up ASAP. He actually sees that it is started. Look at this. He's like You're going to have to recall. He might try to shoot it in if it's not in hold position. Oh, he was not even going to give it a try? Come on. I'd have tried. But the trick is you actually make a Void Ray. If you're going to do that, right?
Yeah.
But then I guess you can't scout with it. It's because the Phoenix would just start shooting and make it go away and give him the warning. Whereas if you like fly behind it and then shoot it and it's on warp and it's not on hold position, then it will fly towards the Stalkers and you might be able to pick it off. Anyways, whatever.
They're both finally trying to take their second base. We do have that Adept Glaives upgrade coming in here again. This time for Zest.
Oh, thank God. I can't wait to see an Adept attack do absolutely nothing.
That's what goes on every time, man.
Ooh! Almost gets that Immortal.
Okay, good escape here by Zest. Keeping stats pinned.
Yeah, and
it looks like Zest actually might move out once more. I think with the Immortals, Sentries, Stalkers, Adepts that he already has, he might try to put pressure on the front. Maybe even combo this into an attack with the Warp Prism, or he could try to fly back and hit with his own Warp Prism Immortal.
Yeah.
As well.
100% he's going to get that Nexus. There's not any shield batteries there.
Well, not only that, the Immortals aren't. 2 of them are still in the main, right? I think they're coming down now.
Well, yeah.
And Resonating Glaives is done.
Oh,
I mean, this is just...
This Nexus is gone. Oh, he's trying to fly his Prism out right now. He actually got it out. Look at that. Okay, well, that shade was a little bit far, but it's working out.
Yep, the Immortals are actually edging in now.
Well, got to do that juggling still. Picks up that very hurt Immortal. Wow, really good micro there by Zest.
GG. All right.
Hell yeah. All right.
Thank you. Now we go to our 5th game after a TVT that was so short.
Yeah.
It was like just an, you know what, it wasn't even like the appetizer, the TVT that we had. It was like the chips and salsa that they give you right when you sit down.
Oh, it's
like the bread rolls.
Stuff?
Yeah, it's free.
That's what, when I go out eating with Tasteless, he eats that and a glass of water. I'm like, God, Tasteless.
That's how I keep my girlish figure. No, this series has been great, and we are going to go to Game 5. I have no clue who's going to take it. These guys are so good.
Yeah, I mean, it is as back and forth as it can possibly be. It almost feels like a coin flip as to who's going to win this one. Like, who's going to take that gamble? Is it going to pay off?
I don't know, Artosis. I'm fine with whoever moves on. I really thought Stats was going to win out of these two, but
well, you might still be right.
Be adapting.
Dreamcatcher next. It's definitely a map that can be a little bit crazy for PvPs.
Sure. Also a map you can absolutely proxy on.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens, guys. The winner of this goes to that last spot in the Final 4 of the last season this year of the GSL Code S. Artosis.
Yes.
This is Rockshear.
Oh,
God, I'm good.
You're really pumping me up. You know how to hype.
I brought it today, didn't I?
Zest.
Those Adepts were clutch.
Splice. Stats.
Oh. Here we are, Tasteless Game 5, Dreamcatcher. Getting ready for that second gateway.
So one big theme with these two players is that it's actually really hard when you have these two guys fight each other. It's really hard for either one to get a second Nexus up. Like, the games are so intense. There's so many dogfights going on with Warp Prisms.
Everyone's playing so aggressively.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know. Now PvP, if you do get a second base up and the other player gets a second base up, things slow down a lot.
They really do.
But so far, these PvPs have just been action-packed.
It's just like how far apart your Nexuses are. That's really what's triggering a lot of these Adept attacks, is if someone's Nexus is almost done, you start yours, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to get my gates up quicker. I'm going to get an extra round of units out of those gates because of that. And, I mean, in these kind of like medium-sized armies, the Adepts do very, very well.
Yeah. Kind of crazy, too, that we saw those Adepts shade inside the main. You know, there's so much stuff going on a lot of times in these PvP fights. You got to be so on top of your army. Sometimes those Adepts will actually shade in there and just start killing workers.
Tasus, you know how people say, like, you give someone power or something and you see who they really are, right?
Sure.
You give someone a bunch of power and you see, like,
Right.
what type of person they are. You put stats in a game 5 to go to the round of 4. You see what type of person he is, man. He made a sentry first.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to scout what you're doing this time, Zest. We're not messing around with this anymore.
Yeah. Well, he's got to play safe, man.
Yeah, he's getting a Stargate, and of course he's got the sentry, so.
He's got water wings on, he's got a seatbelt on, he's got a helmet on. So the Adepts of Zest are coming up trying to hit the Stalker. And there's a probe here to bounce that back out.
Sidestep back off. Another 2 Adepts on the way.
So Zest Nexus is coming up here now. Is this going to get scouted? And again, the Adepts are trying to shade inside. Yeah, I don't believe that he saw that. I don't believe he had confirmation of the Nexus, but I could be wrong.
He might have been he was just on the edge where you get the high ground vision there, but yeah, I think you could be right. I don't think he quite saw it.
So there's Phoenixes coming out now for stats. There is a Robo here as well for Zest.
Well, Phoenixes generally tend to do pretty well against Robos. Because he's just like going up into Immortal drops. He's like, that's really been the killer. Flies into Phoenix. Uh-oh.
So he's going to get to scout this all now. Here comes that hallucinated Phoenix. There is a real Phoenix on the way. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Right on top of these Stalkers.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Look at that. He actually just kills the wall-in device.
The wall-in device, as they call it.
Yeah. I don't call it a shield battery. It's not for healing. It's for walling in.
Yeah. Okay, takes up that sentry.
Yeah, he like...
He's going to start getting a lot of these workers.
He killed a building. Yeah, okay, he's actually going to get some workers. Huh. That's obviously like the most valuable thing. The sentry's really nice to kill too. 6 workers.
Damn.
I mean, it's not 7 tasteless, but
6.
It's still, it's pretty good.
6 planets destroyed is still a lot.
You better believe that, okay? God. Tasus over here being all Thanos, like, I don't even know, man. Like, Tasus, you can't even name 7 planets. That's really reckless. God. It's like very selfish. Like, you don't know if there's life on those planets. Could be one day.
Not anymore, Tasus. Okay, so Stats is going to try to come out. Now, losing that many workers in this game, I mean, he has to try to do something to come back. There seems to be more than enough Stalkers over here at the entrance that he can't actually attack in. But with these Phoenixes coming in the main now, he's starting to balance out this worker count.
Yeah, you're definitely gaining value over time with those. Of course, the Adept kills give you value right up front. You know, he's got his Prism across the map. I don't think he, like, can break him or anything here unless... No, there's no way, right? Like, you just have Stalkers and a Prism playing against us. If he recalls those Phoenixes, that Prism's not going to stay alive, especially if you have a couple of Mortals under it.
Okay, here comes the 2 Adepts now. He's going to try to sneak these in and start taking out workers. And again, he's just going to try to continue to cement his lead.
Jeez, so good here. Can pick this up, maybe just shade through.
Oh, you know what?
Oh my gosh.
This is actually going to get worse. Zest has really been outmaneuvering Stats here.
Yeah.
5 more kills.
You know, nothing feels quite as bad as floating around your enemy's base with 37 energy on your 3 Phoenixes and then losing 5 probes to a Warp Prism with 2 Adepts in it.
Yeah.
Because you know what counters that pretty hard? 3 Phoenixes with 37 energy.
You can stop that before it starts, Artosis, and he misses the Warp Prism.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Does anyone else think that maps are too big?
Yeah. Blizzard. That's so crazy. Things are really just not going Stats' way this time around. So there's 6 more gateways coming down here for Zest. Zest is about to have a lot more muscle. By the way, the 3rd base is on this map. You're taking them fairly far away from your natural. And they're very open. They can be attacked pretty easily.
It's kind of a long map, so it takes a little bit to walk down.
Right.
Warp Prism
But
helps
you know,
with the reinforcements.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is with PvP, of course, once your main army gets there, you can reinforce very, very easily. So tension builds quickly, PvP fights.
This is so funny that the Warp Prism's flying back now.
And here, once again, these 3 Phoenixes are over here. Poking in, taking out workers and this and that. I don't know if there's anything over here to actually defend in the main, is there?
I think he actually has a Stalker or something on the edge there. He definitely has a couple pylons, but by the minimap, it looks like, there are a few Stalkers just sitting waiting. Yeah, he saw it too.
So those Phoenixes should go back now and try to get anything else. Okay, not bad here by stats.
Yeah, some reasonable kills. But when they are later, the kills don't count as much as the early
5 kills. What are those 2 of Zest at depths? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first player to take the 3rd base is going to be Zest. This is what we were waiting for. Now, Stats is kind of in an odd spot. He's had to play catch-up for most of this game.
And do you see this? He kills the Adepts, and his Stalkers got out of position. Immediately, the Warp Prism went back. Looks like he turned it around. Decided there wasn't quite enough time. I like the idea, though.
Warp Prism never taken out by those Phoenixes. And he's going to start warping in.
Yeah, this is
he's
a
gonna
lot
have
of units.
He's going to have a good contain. He'll probably try to push in here as well.
I don't think 6 Stalkers stops this.
I would say no.
No, those
all these
Archons
sentries are pretty useless too.
Oh my God, yeah. The 3 Archons just
think we're seeing the beginning of the end here. I mean, that's just too many Archons. Zest with too clean of a harassed game here. GG Zest is the last player to go on to the Final 4.
That's pretty awesome and pretty crazy.
Wow.
Geez, so you know what, Tasteless? This round of 4 has 3 of the players that were in the round of 4 last time. TY, Maru, Zest. All 3 of these guys were in round of 4 in Season 2.
Crazy.
Yeah, only Neeb coming through as a new player there, and a possible Royal Rotor, of course. Stats, unfortunately, not quite making it. That's okay, he's already going to BlizzCon. I think Zest is locked now. I'll have to double check that, but I don't think anyone can, I don't think he can be, I don't think 4 people can get ahead of Zest anymore on WCS points.
Hey, beautifully done by Zest. We're going to go to an interview with him, see how he's feeling. By the way, guys, we have another StarCraft cast later on today.
Yeah, StarCraft 1. ASL.
That's right, day 1. Follow our Twitter accounts. We'll put the link there so you can find us.
And Jaedong's playing, so you want to find us.
공허의 유산 GSL 프로토스 우승자 간의 대결. 승리자는 주성욱 선수입니다. 바로
We've got our former GSL champion. Zest moves on.
네.
The winner's Zest. Congratulations. Thank you.
역전 승리네요. 먼저 소감 어떠신가요?
That was a thrilling comeback victory. How do you feel?
세트에서 준비한 전략이 괜찮아가지고
네.
그 경기를
The strategy prepared on the first map.
제가 예상했던 플레이를 안
I thought the
하고
strategy was really good.
무난하게 해가지고
I thought if I win from there, it should be pretty straightforward and easy for me to come on top.
준비했던
But
의도가
Stats is a smart player. He handled it very well, and it was much tougher than I thought.
순간이었던 것 같습니다. 오늘 카탈리스트에서 사도가 본진에
Today
난입하지
on
않았더라면
Catalyst,
이런 승리가 있었을까 이런
the
생각이
Adepts hadn't
들어요.
breaking
그
through at that
순간이
moment,
확실히
started killing
의미가 클 것
workers.
같은데요.
You might not have had this victory.
16강에서
What was that moment for you?
사도가 잘 나뉘.
So when I was watching SOS play in the round of 16, his Adepts just kept breaking into opponents' bases really easily. So I thought maybe I should be trying to do this a little bit more often.
역전의 발판이 됐던 카탈리스트 경기였고요. 와, 그 카탈리스트 경기도 재밌었지만 블루시프트 경기를 얘기를 안 할 수가 없어요.
The Catalyst game was pretty fun.
패배하긴 했지만 역대급
But
푸푸전으로
the game on Blue Shift was awesome as well.
사도를 그렇게 많이 정지상 수험으로 묶었는데 그 경기 굉장히 많이 아쉬울 것 같아요.
그 경기도 제가 리플레이를 봤는데 생각보다 더 유리했더라고요.
네.
별로 그렇게 많이 유리한지 몰랐는데 일단.
Oh, they're talking about when the Adept was caught by that stasis ward. All those Adepts are. I almost have to watch the VOD to tell you how I feel about that. Things are happening so fast, I don't think I processed it all.
자, 오늘
Anyways, that was disappointing for me.
주성 선수의 저력으로 만들어낸 역전승입니다. 사실 주성 선수의 저력이 김대엽 선수의 어마어마한 승률에 좀 가려져 있었습니다. 올해 푸푸전
Stats' PvP win rate is over 90%.
1패였거든요.
Not anymore.
김대엽 선수가요?
모르셨어요.
He had 12 wins and 1 loss. So how do you feel taking down a player like that?
이걸 12승 2패로 만들어
He said
주신
stats?
거예요.
He says I didn't know that. Okay.
이제 아셨다니.
대단한 일을 했네요.
네. 그런데 이걸 이겼으니까 더 대단하신 거네요.
So you've given 1 extra loss of stats. Aren't you happy about that?
다시 한번
Well, that's cool.
축하드리겠고요.
That's amazing, I
마지막으로
guess.
이제 4강은 조성주 선수와의 미리 보는 결승전이 됐습니다. 이 조성주 선수와의 4강전 각오를 들려주시죠.
Seems like the semifinal is going to be the rematch of season 2 finals. What's your take on that?
결승에서 만나가지고 그때 더 일찍 만나고 싶다 했는데.
Well, I lost against Maru in the finals.
일단 4강에서 만나게 됐으니까.
I would have preferred.
복수할 수 있도록 준비하겠습니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 다시 한번.
It's going to be interesting facing Maru before the finals. I'm going to put a lot of prep in. Train hard. Please watch me. Congratulations again. Zest, he says thanks. And there we go, Artie.
Yes,
Artie McFly.
And we have our round of 4. Maru versus Zest. Again, the rematch. And then Neeb versus TY. A couple awesome TVPs. I can't wait.
Guys, could Neeb get into the finals? I think
How crazy would that be? It is possible. It is possible. TY has been playing unbelievably cheesy
The
against
non-Koreans are
Protoss.
catching up, man.
It's true. First Cyril, now Neeb.
So that's fun to have an American here in the Final Four. Definitely mark those dates on your calendar. You do not want to miss out.
So we have switched the times for these, right? So we're going with the Neeb TY first because Neeb has to go to WCS Montreal. So that's going to be on Wednesday.
Yep.
And Maru versus Zest, will be on next Saturday at the regular time.
Correct.
Excellent.
Guys, we have ASL later on tonight. Let me see here. It's, what is it, 3:10 right now?
Just under 4 hours.
Yeah. So join us in 4 hours. Just check our Twitters. We'll have the link there. I don't believe it's going to be on this channel. So
No, it'll be on our Africa channel. We'll check if anywhere else, but definitely do check that out. Jaedong is playing tonight. It's going to be awesome. And, of course, today that PvP series was really fun. But Maru GuMiho, wow. Especially that Game 3. What in the world?
Maru looking like he's seen the game on a level we have not really seen before, especially in TVT.
Looking forward to this round of 4, Tasteless. I feel like there's not a finals that would be bad here.
No, we're fine. We're fine no matter what, man.
Yeah,
These
we're pretty
games
good to go.
Yeah.
Occasionally you can look at a round 8 and be like, ooh, I see two bad finals
There's
here.
2 ways this could go wrong. Yeah, that's all the time we have, guys. We'll be back in 4 hours for StarCraft 1, Day 1 of ASL. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
There's a place at the end of the
#2018 GSL Season 3 Rock Shear.